let's head into our matchup. Of course, Liquid versus Vitality, game number 1. And we start off on Coastline, our first map of the day.
Well, we'll see what these bands have in store here. Should be interesting. As I said earlier, we have not seen any of these teams playing on this.
I like the Nokabi band. The combo with Glaz makes her so much stronger, and also buffs Zephyr's Glaz quite a bit. So I'm pretty interested to see how this actually plays out. Vitality and European teams in general have been really good at hunting down roamers with this operator. And here we'll see Lion being banned.
So there's the 2 roam hunters going out and there. It's going to be down to maybe we'll see some Jackal play here just because there's so little else to be able to counter the roamers. We may also see a Vigil ban, as these teams have been known to sometimes do that, especially coming from, I believe it was Liquid doing it in the past. There's no Vigil ban, but Vitality actually wants to do it. That means they're leaving Echo on the board.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're more afraid of the roam game than anything else in here.
Well, that's really what's going to delay them the most, because they spend most of their time on that. There's that surprising ban.
When you're holding an angle for 2.5 minutes, I mean, that's really the one thing that will slow you down. But we start off with round number 1. Map number 1, of course, Coastline, in this best-of-3 overtime activated series. So keep that in mind as our day goes. If anybody asks you a question or anything like that in chat or wherever, make sure that you give them the info, but nothing out of the ordinary as Vitality is starting off on the attack, and they're bringing Glaz and Ying. This is European meta in its finest.
Yeah, it definitely should be interesting to see. And we are seeing at least one 6-pick already being used to switch to the castle from the Echo. So they're just going to be teasing Vitality and thinking they're going to have to deal with that Echo. But instead, the castle is going to be there, and they're not going to bring anything special to counter it either way, but Bibu is going to be on Zofia, which he plays a lot anyway, so that should make it not as big a deal. I don't think they were going to 6th pick, to Sledge or anything like that to hard counter it, so not a big deal, but hey, a little bit of extra bait, I suppose, against Vitality will definitely help. We are going to see the Glaz is no one banned that, though, from Zephyr, something we see a lot, of course, from him, especially on this map in the past, although obviously, like I said, we've not seen them play this map during Pro League itself.
Yeah.
There's a chance. We probably saw them play it during DreamHack, something like that. Hard to say, as there was a lot of matches not streamed, but
yeah, it's kind of hard to track everything when not everything was broadcasted. But still, it's not something that has been shown around too much. Now, the interesting thing is that obviously Mira is banned, so we're not going to see any of that. So we're not going to harp on the strategies too much, but the fact that Echo is available, that might really come back and hurt Vitality. The interesting thing in this setup here from Liquid is that they leave a rotation hole into the penthouse from VIP, which is not really a usual thing. Sometimes it'll be fully reinforced. That's really most of the time you want to force your opponents to play.
I mean, the site isn't up there, but it's definitely above the site. You have to defend it.
Now, the best part about this is that, well, Vitality have soft destruction. They have at least one operator here. Of course, the Zofia, which Bibi was fairly active on.
Yeah, it's definitely been a strong one for him.
Yeah, and IQ is kind of a must-pick for Vitality, realizing that they might have to deal with more technical operators on the defensive side. So, your Echo, etc. That's why you see Hidei coming around, making sure there's nothing that can really disrupt their push into the site. Zig forced back as the castle will have to abandon the penthouse and at least that back.
Well, they definitely don't necessarily need to use those X-Kairos on any kind of hatches or anything like that. And they don't necessarily need to use it on the site unless they want to open up that long wall. So they have some flexibility here. Rafael, though, spending a lot of time trying to get a headshot, and the pinch coming out potentially from Bibu from the other side. But they're still really struggling to get him out of that bookshelf corner.
It's a pretty tough corner to go through, but this is why you bring a Zofia. You got Gizmot mines, but there are ADSs that are set in. And of course, these mines run the exact same way as they do for her little sister Ella. Bullet will get the kill onto Rafal. Unfortunately, the Ying being the first to fall.
I like this double hold here in VIP. It's really working out because they're covering for each other. And look how long it's taking them. They're having to bring everyone. And Nesk on the dock surprisingly takes down Zephyr, and Bibu trades it right back. But that's just one of the two people in VIP.
Now, so smart from Sexy Cake to not peek And he does get a bit of a boost from the donk of Nesk, so making sure that everybody's topped up. And it seems like this, they won't even have the chance here, Vitality, to push into that unreinforced wall. Now there's a minute left, which means it's pretty much 3 years in Vitality time. But the Diffuser is in the Hall of Fame, and Nesk will land a headshot. Bibu trying to find it, he'll get one. No, that's Bride to get it. Sexy Cake still in the back. Bride finally take him out, but it is a 1v2. He'll have to get 2 more players in here, make it a 3K. But now Team Liquid will just rotate around, and PSK still has, of course, the smoke canisters. They're taking damage here.
Those
from
batteries.
The batteries.
They're doing some work on him. That's twice he's gotten hit by those, and he's already low on health. Nesk should have an easy tank fight here. If he loses it, that's going to be a big surprise.
Yeah, but they will peek in from the cool vibes stairs, and there you go. Easy kill at the end with Nesk. All he needed was the 1 tap, and he's running the Pentacharm on the MP5. Pretty sweet there. But
yeah, not going to see that anytime the rest of this match.
Yeah, of course.
In terms of Penta themselves.
During the Paris Major qualifiers, or not qualifier, but the playoffs, we have a few panels with Ubisoft. We'll be talking about the the panel for the esports stuff, of course, during the year. And one of the topics will be the esports. The esports program.
Yeah, that should be interesting to see how that goes, especially with the new orgs involved. So we will see a similar attack lineup. This time they're going to fight on bar instead of kitchen. Of course, they won that, so they cannot play that again. So they're obviously not wanting to do Penthouse anytime soon. Now, of course, we are still in the same format where they play 5 rounds in a row on the sides before they switch. So chances are, if they win this, then we will see what their third side is, which will likely be Penthouse, but not guaranteed. Could go Hookah. Gonna see that 6 pick over to Castle yet again. So nothing too surprising, except for the Echo actually sticking this time.
Yeah, nothing will change from Vitality in this lineup for the attackers. Defenders, as you mentioned.
It's a nice surprise, though, because last time they 6-picked off to Castle from the Echo. This time, I imagine Vitality could be thinking the same thing happens again. They're not going to expect both an Echo and a Castle.
I mean, when you're defending downstairs in the barns, you don't really need a bandit. So
yeah,
it's not too big of a problem. You can go through with PSK with his yokais. Of course, with 2 yokais, the way that Liquid are playing around, they can basically just keep roaming around. You'll see Sexy Cake playing around with Bullet or Zig outside of the site, having 2 players to anchor on it, most likely the Echo and the Smoke. Smoke very difficult to push away from the barn here.
Yeah, he didn't even have to do anything last round.
This is an interesting part. A lot of teams have been either reinforcing one side or both of them in here. Both of them will be soft, and we're even gonna set up with shooting holes on the feet level, so your gas canisters can actually be very effective against them.
Not to mention they can't come in through that window then without exposing themselves, and if they push, they can't push across to get to the other side to try and hold that room a little more effectively. That really does, as you say, make the Smoke much more effective in denying that push. Not to mention they have the Echo as well as Legion Mines to be able to deny any kind of aggressive push through there. So this is really going to be, again, delaying and delaying and delaying on Vitality. We saw it really effective last round.
Yeah, something that a team like Secret, for example, would do is basically use the Habana X Kairos on the castle barricade in the aquarium ASAP, and then use the second one on here, because they really only need 1, maximum 2, depending on the strategy they have in mind. But Rafael will try to come in, go for a peek, nobody really behind. Now, the Ying is being played with an angle grip, which means that this is usually going to be more of an aggressive Ying to push in outside of just holding the angles for a while.
Yeah, to be able to use the Candles to push roamers potentially, even, which he's going to have to do in a second here.
Bibu will get the spot on the Jaeger in the back. Sexy Cake will be droned up again. This is something the Vitality are very famous for, of course. So, droning for a long time and then executing flawlessly on the site.
Well, so far, from what we saw last round, not flawlessly. And then, unfortunately, there looks like he might have hit something, perhaps one of the bottles or something on the windowsill. He's already at half health. But Zafir, though, the nice kill onto Zig.
Yeah, I'll get the first one of the round. As you see, the Jaeger has been forced back. Oddly enough, PSK on the Echo is running with the Supernova on the shotgun. And Zephyr just comes into Hookah. He doesn't even care about the fact that there's somebody here. He goes in for the Jaeger, and Zephyr wins the duel, taking no damage in here. Sexy Cake falling down, and what is that beautiful play on our resident expert here on our Russian sniper. This is pretty darn good to see. Vitality, of course, being able to run the glass in the round. That's the Castle and the Jaeger taken out. 50 seconds, which means plenty of time for Vitality.
Yeah, definitely. So far been a very effective top floor take because not only did they clear it, but they cleared it without losing a single man, which is typical for Vitality. They will be slow and patient, but they are like that bulldozer, just slowly crushing over them. Last round was not a good indicator of that, but now they have the control, as you mentioned, and the time to be able to execute on this. But the Echo and the Smoke are both still left alive, along with Legion, which will delay a plant. So this could be a struggle.
Let's try to peek in from below. The shotgun, of course, at this range, trying to deal with players from above can be very effective, to say the least. There's 20 seconds on the clock, and Bullet will get 1 kill. Finally, the Zofia going down before all of the Guzmots can be thrown in. And finally, Vitality are coming into the side room here. Nesk chucking all of his gas canisters, 2 of them going into the side room. Rafael will get 1 kill, top 2 seconds left on the clock. Where's the diffuser? You need to put it down. Spark will try to go for the plant. And the Echo is finally turning around to try and deny it, but Vitality just running 2 seconds. For that has to be a new record for a team just coming into it.
I never know. It's almost a mystery how they pull off these attempted plants at the last second like that, because they should not win those. They should never win those. I mean, it seems like they bait out a little bit of desperation out of the defenders sometimes when it comes to those moments, because you're going to be predicting, okay, time's almost up. They have to go for a plant. That's going to be the defender's going to be thinking that's going to force them to do something. But in the end, I think it's Vitality forcing the defenders to think that, to act accordingly, and the attackers playing off that information.
They kind of mind game the mind games. Pretty true. But one thing to remind you guys is that this is the new format. If you haven't watched Pro League, and you haven't watched any of our tournaments after DreamHack Austin, we'll remind you that now we play 5 rounds on attack, then we switch, and the other team will play 5 rounds on defense for a total of 10, and then if it's a 5-5 tie, we go into overtime, which is a best of 3 overtime, as it always has been. So keep that in mind. Of course, this is Coastline. This is a map that a lot of teams would be like, if you're not getting minimum 3, most likely 4 rounds on the attack, you're kind of really putting yourself back. So Vitality,
especially on this map.
Yeah, Vitality really need to get those up on the board. As Liquid, getting 2-3 rounds would be pretty huge for their start.
Bridge with a nice 4 kills already between those 2 rounds. Definitely doing well for his team. Surprising to see that Penthouse is not going to be the 3rd bomb site, as I was talking about earlier, since well, they didn't have to switch because they didn't win the last round. They could have continued to play in bar. So it's surprising they would voluntarily go over to hookah. So they're definitely going to have to play this smart. I mean, this is the site above the bar, so obviously if you could defend the bar downstairs, you might be able to defend upstairs as well, but this does at least let you put all your eggs in one basket. You don't have to defend both, like a split defense, because that's what happened last time. Is they were trying to defend both hookah and the bar, and lost too many people upstairs.
Oh, the pick from Nesk, and he finds the kill on Bibu. Wow. Huge kill here early on the Zofia. That will really slow things down for Vitality even more than the usual. And Sexy Kick running with a P90. What is this? What is going on? Well, the one thing I wanna highlight though is the fact that there is no bandit, there is no mute. So the reinforced walls here, as you see everybody peeking around them from the back of the bar in the pool by the pool table. Easiest thing, get the Habana up on the roof, get shots on that wall and open it up. Try to shut down the rotations from here. We've seen teams like Millennium excel at this sort of angle holding. And this is something that Spark can definitely use to slow down Team Liquid, or maybe get an early pick as they lose Bibu. Yeah. It's a bit of a problem here.
It's unfortunate for Liquid, of course, that wasn't a kill onto Spark, but it's still going to hurt, though, taking down Bibu early. That means soft destruction a little bit more off the board. Although, in this case, they're finally not running Castle, so I guess that isn't as big of a deal, but that's still angles that could be opened up in addition to what Spark's going to be opening up.
All right, so we're on the main window of the penthouse. Nothing has been found so far, as Vitality have at least penetrated the external defenses here of Team Liquid on the outside. Pre-Day comes on into the bathroom as well, scanning around, not going to find any equipment that is put around him. Maybe he'll spot the yokai drone if it is in the room. Of course, remind you that IQ has had a range nerf from 20 meters on her detector to down to only 15, and that is a yokai drone taken out.
Oh, there we go. That's the problem with the on soft wall. Of course, if they had Bibu there, they wouldn't have to worry as much about that, but he wasn't able to get all the discs.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to spray into the site. Oh, the yokai's really being taken out here, but you don't really need yokais to enter the site. Xkairos, excuse me. So it's all right to use your Xkairos on here, even 2 sets to have a long angle. I wonder if they're going to go up to the rooftop to play the angle we're just talking about, as things have been droned, and Vitality must know that there's nothing really to deny them from doing that. No, Rafal will start taking down the barbed wire. There is, of course, a yokai, the second one, that is being set on the site.
Hopefully they can keep that alive, because as we saw with Bride earlier, he was able to spot it out. Going to be spotting out again because he's doing a good job scouting the inside for electronics, and there's not a lot of other ones to distract him. Just heard some shots go off. That could have even been on the yokai. I like the use of the deployable shield, though, for the angles. This is not an atypical thing to see a Jaeger roaming down in the security office there.
Yeah, he does have to deal with the Hibana. This PSK will try to get a shot here, and fortunately, no, Neski gets the shot. That's now 2 kills for him in the round. Huge one here on the Hibana, though. Rafal coming in. The Fuser has been set instantly as they push on the site. Vitality are able to get the plant, though. Bullet will get one. He'll get traded by Bride. Sexy K coming in to turn it into a 2v1. All up to Bride, as Nesk will rotate in and try to help. There is no C4 available here to chuck into the IQs. Of course, IQ no longer has grenades to throw into the back. You'll hear the Fuser being tapped away here, as Bride will have to come in. Can he get the shots? He takes down the Valkyrie. No! Nesk is ready for him! And what a shot! Team Liquid, and especially Nesk, not disappointing. That's a 3K for him in the round, starting off with a beautiful run out from the bar.
Yeah, that definitely changed things, because of course the lack of manpower at the end of the round was really what hurt Vitality, because they had a very good execute for the most part. They got on a site, they got the plant down, and got a lot of kills leading up to it. But again, losing Bibu that early in the round, of course, during the attack beginning phase there, left them just all on Bride. I mean, Bride's been doing a good job, but left all alone like that against that many defenders, unfortunately he could not win that fight too easily. But nonetheless, I think Liquid have been playing a pretty good game, but Vitality have been seeming very confident in their executes for the most part. Outside of the first round where they really struggled a little bit, they seem to have kind of found their groove very quickly. And surprising is that they're finally going to play something other than Glass. He's actually going to sneak onto that Jackal I was mentioning, potentially being a pick earlier. And they are going to go back to their first site, Kitchen, which was the one they struggled the most on attacking because of their upstairs attack really getting stalled out.
Yeah, no, Kitchen is a site where a Jackal with the ITA can be very helpful. We've seen quite a few other teams, including really these two, bringing Buck to as well play around from VIP, from the penthouse. It can give you a lot of very interesting angles, though the interesting thing here is that not the entirety of the wall is reinforced, only 2 setups here, with a third one being impacted to rotate out. Now, this was used once, I believe, and it was fairly effective. I think Orglis used this as well in EU. It kind of threw their opponents off. They didn't really know how to react to this.
It helps you fight 2 different hallways, because you can peek out the one and then you can jump out to take long shots down the longer wall out the other side. So it does give you a few options in terms of being able to kind of counter the lobby as well, because the lobby pushes are pretty typical as well towards the bathroom door. So that flexibility, of course, as we talk about a lot, can work both ways. So, of course, it depends on who has control at a given time. But, of course, there's going to be people on site. So chances are that hole itself may remain mostly in control of the defenders most of the time. It is interesting, though, as you mentioned Buck earlier, and we have yet to see a Buck played on this map, which is it's surprising. I mean, Jackal can function in some similar fashions, but at the same time, like, this is already round 4 before we're even seeing that much. Vitality haven't seemed to need it, though. They haven't seemed to need that vertical pressure in terms of at least something Buck-like. We'll see how Zephyr does, though, without the Glass this time. They should be able to track people down a little bit better, because, of course, they're still going to have the IQ for the electronics, and now they've got Zephyr to track the footprints. Maybe they'll be able to hunt down these 2 in the same spots as last time. Now, this is going to be a little more predictable. Hopefully, Vitality are going to make the right adjustments, because they know what they're going to be fighting against this time. Nesk also playing his same position to help out his teammates as well. The
thing is, you need an extra angle to play against this, because even though these would be 2 angles to push in, they're very restricted. They're very one-dimensional. Come in from the side. Try to push in from the Cool Vibe stairs. If anything, from the backside. Coming in from the from the back in the bars definitely would help. But Rafal and Bride will get a kill each early on. Candela's thrown in by Rafal, and he will get the spot. Wow, what a flick. Sexike going down. Bibu finishing off Nazca. Now it's PSK on his own. Vitality just completely turn it up to 11. And they'll try to tie it up here. 2-2, already 2 rounds for Team Liquid on the defense on Coastline is definitely a good spot to be in. But here, it's not the setup of the site that hurts them, is the fact that their own game did not work at all, playing off the site.
That's the problem, though, is they used the exact same setup as last time, and that was the mistake here because Vitality clearly adjusted. Look at this, 5 people against PSK. Rafael maybe a low health, and they actually probably have enough time to reset him, but he's going for the plant. That's risky, though. But nonetheless, PSK was not there to stop it, and plant has gone down. 5v1, PSK going to have a little bit of an uphill battle here, but at least going to take 1 down in the process. See if he could turn that into at least 2 kills before it goes to the end.
All right, PSK just trying to spray in, but his position's kind of known at this point, and you see he's trying to contest from VIP into the Hall of Fame. Peeks out, and Bibu finding the angle. Just ACOG is ready, and that's the Pro League skin for the Zofia. It looks pretty good, to say the least.
Nice and clean, black and white.
Yep.
Well, that is 2-2, though, so both these teams neck and neck here so far. And showing, I would say that the score is pretty representative of what we've seen. It has been very back and forth between these two teams in terms of round dominance. But as you said earlier, Vitality needs these attack rounds.
Yes.
But to be fair, they have pretty good defenses as well. And I think they could make up for it a bit in some of the defensive rounds that they get once they switch over. But Liquid are starting to get a little predictable now that they've shown all of their cards. For the most part, they're going to have to kind of surprise a little bit, I think, in order to take more rounds off Vitality here.
I'm surprised that even when we went to Penthouse, we saw no Maestro being played. But I think the big thing is that Team Liquid and Latin America in general, we see this even with NIP, especially with NIP, that they play in a very different way. They play for picks off of their opponents. It's, as Intero was putting it yesterday, it's an all-or-nothing play style. Well, they'll put so many players off the site and get picks off their opponents. And unfortunately for a team like Vitality, they're not a team that is well known for coming up with brand new strategies and shaking up the meta. They're more known for being so good at default strats that nobody can figure them out because they just still play a style that is very old. Yeah, exactly. Their execution is very much flawless every single time they're doing it. So that's something that you do have to keep in mind. It's still not an easy thing to play against, but Team Liquid are kind of finding their vibe in this. It's been working out pretty nicely for them. Dope.
It is surprising to see no drone denial coming out from Liquid, though, because that execute really depends a lot, at least on attack, on that droning that you see from them, and nothing like not a mute or anything like that to kind of deny that seems to be making it much easier for them once they find out where they're at to execute on them.
Yeah, and of course, this is round number 5, so at the next round, Team Liquid will be switching around to the attacking side. We'll remind you of the format. So Zephyr now will try to at least punch some holes through that castle barricades. Of course, Glaz opening up holes with his OTS. He can see through those bullet holes, and that's exactly what Zephyr will try to do. He finds a spot here behind the bar, and the Jaeger takes a lot of damage, but Sexy Cake is somehow still alive, but won't be peeking that anytime soon, though.
No, that definitely was risky, and I'm surprised it took him that long to get those shots and didn't actually manage to get the kill on him. There was, I believe, a slight damage nerf to Glaz previously, but I'm not sure that's going to do a whole lot.
No, it really won't. It still does like 71 damage, I think. Yeah. It's still a 2-shot through any surface, through really anything. I don't think there's much that'll be, slowing down that 7.62 round.
Well, either way, again, a slow, methodical execute here from Vitality. They almost got an early kill, at least on the Sexy Cake, but now this is where the drones start coming out, and they start getting the intel, they start doing their slow push. And as we've seen, most of the time that can work pretty well. Sexy Cake is going to go for the reset there. So he's going to get back up to that 50 HP. Hopefully still going to get peeked by the Glaz again. The Glaz does spot a little bit of that yellow, but he drops. So smart play by Zig.
Yeah, one thing to remember that the Glaz now has, still has a rate of fire as before, which is pretty high for the damage that it has. Bibu will get the kill on Sexy Cake. Almost thought that was a snipe through the wall.
The reset unfortunately did not do a whole lot for him.
Yeah, unfortunately cannot survive for long. But, of course, there was the damage change on the OTS.
As well as the recoil, I think, got shifted quite a bit.
That's the big thing. Follow-up shots are not as easy as they were before.
Yeah, you definitely have to tap it just right. I'm sure Zephyr, though, has practiced plenty. So he's been running Glaz this whole time, so, except for Jackal 1 round, which, of course, that was a round they won pretty effectively. But they're still coming out pretty dominant as usual here because they've still got 5 alive. They've got the 1 kill and 6 kick. Zig very low on health. They're actually getting set up to execute. As you said last time, 50 seconds was plenty of time, but last time on this site, it took them all the way down to the last 2. PSK just...
No, he's hitting the metal bar. He's going to try to take down that yokai drone, and maybe he finally has found the angle. No, they're just going to use Zophia's minute to blow it up lifeline.
I think it's still alive. It looks like I still see it, and there we go. Bibu, though, turning it into a nice kill down onto PSK.
Yeah, so they don't even have to worry about the yokais now. Bullet will get one on the run-out. That's Rafal holding an angle, as, of course, Vitality are very well known for holding angles for a long, long, long time during the round. But there's 10 seconds left, and this is when push has come to shove. And Bibu coming in from the side will get the kill on Nest. Zephyr for the second, and Bibu with the last one onto Bullet. And Vitality taking the first half 3-2 against their opponents here, Team Liquid. Beautiful recoil control on the M762 and gives Liquid the advantage. Really, 3 rounds is the minimum that you're looking for on the attacking side of Coastline.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously much stronger to go into it with a 4-1 situation, of course, even a 5-0. But 3-2 is still good here. Now Liquid are going to have to make up for it on their attack. They're going to be playing a little bit differently, as well as the defense can be playing differently, because they're going to be starting on Penthouse, a site we did not see from Liquid. They just were not interested in playing it at all. Surprisingly, Hookah instead being preferred. But overall, the defenses only seeming to work out at the beginning when they won Kitchen first, and then that Hookah one that seemed to surprise Vitality a little bit. But surprises did not seem to be Liquid's strength, and I think that was a big weakness against Vitality overall, because when Vitality has the intel, when they know what to do, they know how to push it. There's a nice 6th pick there. Zephyr also going to go for one, but not as surprising as I would say, switching over to the Blitz for Sexy Kick there.
Yeah, really just to have that extra ACOG. It's I was expecting a Maestro, but obviously it won't be the case here. Now, Team Liquid, this is something that they've been doing quite a bit of recently, and even in their scrims, running these 3 soft destructors.
Yeah.
They have one, of course, the Habana, but with 3 soft destructors, you here the Sledge gives you the grenades. You've got Zofia as well that has quite a bit of utility on the lifeline, and of course the 762. Nesk being able to run around on the Ash and have some barbed wire clearing material as well. With
it's all just going to pave the way for the Blitz.
Yeah, basically. Really. Clear out everything in his way so the Blitz does not have to come off his shield at any point in time.
It seems like a very effective strategy, assuming Sexy Kick can continue that role. And he has done a very, very good job, I'd say, in the past of playing Blitz. So it's no surprise here to see that come out. But like you said, pointing out the soft destructor thing is a good point in terms of how they play around that shield. Early peaks, unfortunately, not paying off for Zephyr, but he's trying. He does see that shield. Smartly, Sexy Cake is a little prepared for this, does see that, so he's just kind of, as usual, being like the drone there. Like the pistol skin looks nice.
He's pointing things out for his teammates. Just tell him, hey guys, there's somebody trying to peek me from Hookah. I'm not sure if he's going to jump out and try to take me down there as soon as he hears the rappel going up, but
trying to bait it out best he can.
Basically. So the Habana will be coming in. Nesk as well from behind on the Ash. We're going to try to take control of VIP and the Hall of Fame. Of course, Hall of Fame and VIP being so important for a push onto the B site. And we'll see only one. Well, actually, there we go. It's on the other side. All 3 of the sidewalls are reinforced. So most likely you're going to see the Blitz coming in from the front door, but maybe the Habana won't use all of her X-Kairos here to open up a hole to come in and go for a plant. It's usual where you have one angle that can be used by the attackers to shoot in and contest any defenders, to cut off their rotation into the site, and then the last 2 would maybe be to open up a door to come in to the site for a plant. But you see the Jaeger spot on the back here for Payday as Nesk is eyeing it, PSK giving information.
They are definitely droning him out of the corner, but this is something that we saw that was a little bit of a problem for Vitality on the attack originally. But of course, this is getting predictable now in terms of playing that corner. It's just how do you get people out of it? Of course, they do have flashbangs and things like that, but that being a Jaeger, he's going to have ADSs to stop it. But like you said before, the soft destructors have plenty of grenades as well to back that up. Not to mention, you could even burn some of them with the smokes here from Blitz if you had to.
Yeah, that can definitely be used. Now, usually you see a Dokkaebi maybe on this roll, but here Dokkaebi is banned. Debu coming in and getting a kill from the back. Nobody really checking here as Nesk checks his face. Echo spotted and taken down. Nesk just coming into the site and getting 2 kills off of it. Sure, they lose the Blitz here, but it's no problem. They also lose the Zofia, but Zig will refrag. Zephyr is down, and somehow the Diffuser is down. This is a very odd way of attacking. It's somehow worked. Vitality were playing off of the site and really relying on the bathroom, and now they'll have to retake with one player very low on health. It's Payday who has to come back in from the side here in VIP. Nesk will drop him on the floor, leaving only 1 alive. Spark coming in from the side. Gets a few shots on a Nesk, but that only alerts the Beast. who's now hungry for a kill. Spark will get one onto Zig, and Spark lands the headshot onto Nesk. It comes in from the side. He needs information. C4 tossed in the back. He'll get the C4. BSK's on the floor, and Spark, all he needs to do is find a diffuser. Does he have enough time? He's going to try to stick it here. Might have just enough time for it. 7 seconds total to try and do it. And no, the attackers with only 1 second. Unfortunate for Vitality. So close to the retake. Spark, what a beautiful bit of play. But unfortunately, not enough time as the diffuser position was not called out. The reinforced wall was always reinforced, so they were not expecting a plant by the bed.
Definitely worked out for them. But that was, as you said, very, very close there. It surprises me they didn't check the bathroom in terms of the fact that all the wall was reinforced. That's kind of an indicator someone might be playing in there. So that was a clue that they just didn't seem to read into. But Nesk still just walking into sight like that, completely controlling the site. Unfortunately, losing the fight to Spark, of course, gave them the opportunity to push in. But hey, too little, too late. They still win the round. Nesk actually surprisingly going to switch off. This time, Sexy Cake going to go straight to the Blitz. And they're actually going to bring a Finka from Zig. So this should be interesting in terms of this attack being a little bit different. They are going to go down to Kitchen for Vitality. So we'll see how that works out in terms of whether or not their Kitchen is as effective as we saw the first round of Liquid's defense.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
We'll see. We are going to see the first Maestro as well. Should be interesting in terms of Rafael playing on that.
All right. It's a 3-3. It's getting pretty close between the two. And of course, every round that you get on the defense is worth its weight in gold on here. And I really want to see how Zig combos in with Sexy Cake. It's been something we've been talking about quite a bit. Like, of course, Zofia has been changed now. So
not as strong.
Yeah, but her nerf is directly to her ability, which has now been toned down from 20 to 10 seconds for the adrenaline boost. However, now she takes less damage from a smoke if you're adrenaline boosted. For everybody that is, you still retain the no recoil buff that you have once that is up, but she also got the grenade. As we mentioned it, she went into Team Rainbow's barracks and she stole the grenades from IQ. And now she's got them. And Zig, as usual, be seeing him playing with the LMG, with the 6B. Makes a lot of sense to bring it, knowing that you basically have to deal with no recoil, especially if you're adrenaline surged.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a big buff, and it's definitely going to help Sexy Cake as well, because on that push, for example, less smoke damage means, of course, if he's being countered by smoke, he won't take as much damage from that. He's not going to have as much boost to his ADS. No, nice shots there. Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of Zig, so we're not even going to see an effect here. But I was going to say also that the boost to health can help with Blitz push as well. But either way, it's not going to be a factor.
You know what a lot of teams have been doing now? Instead of the usual thing where, Finka would be used just to combo with a Blitz, she's been used quite a bit to help clearing out roamers, a lot more than an execute on the site, which is something, Team Liquid might not have to worry too much about, but you see Vitality are setting up in the penthouse. They have 2 players in there. They possibly have information from Bibu on the Echo, because of course one of the yokai, there we go, you see the yokai drop, so there is a yokai to support the defenders. Of course, it takes a lot of teamwork and team effort to get this done. We'll try to push onto the shield. No, that's only one pop, and no, Nesk from the back, holding the angle. Zephyr will go down.
Good support from his teammate there. Unfortunately, that was again a case where Zephyr managed to get reset after taking a lot of damage fighting Zig downstairs, but the reset, of course, was not enough, because 50 HP at Pro League level is not a lot. It's pretty much 1 or 2 shots away from dying. But Nesk is pushing strong onto the site here and catches him on the rotate. Nicely done. Spark goes down.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that hole to be opened up, I guess. I don't know if that was a pre-planned rotation hole. I believe Bullet opened it up with his Zofia. The smoke being thrown in here to protect from anybody coming in from the stairs. Unfortunately, it won't be the case here. Vitality, all 3 remaining players are set up anchored on the site with really the 3 highlight anchors.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Maestro, Echo, and Smoke.
We'll see if they can delay well here, because, of course, delay was the tactic towards the end for Liquid on their defense, but Vitality going to try and play that against 4 men strong here, pushing in. They can push very aggressive when the time comes down because of those Candelas, because of the concussion grenades that can come out from Bullet, as well as the Blitz shield here. Once they have the setup, it's going to come down to Yokais and Smokes to delay, and of course 1 smoke already thrown.
Now there's 2 left, almost perfectly timed here. Just a few seconds off, but still, It is quite a bit of disruption that you can do to your opponents. BSK trying to come in and earn 80 ADSs that are on the site as Nest will go in with his Candelas. That's one. He does get flashed a bit by his own teammate, but Bullet coming in from the back, trying to down the Maestro, and indeed, he'll be successful in that. Bullet is spotted, and there you go. Rafael will get one kill. The smoke goes down, and he's just pushing in with the RG-15 and the knife from Bullet to get through at the end. Liquid with the fourth one, not even believing what happened. It's like Vitality were unaware that they can come in from the back, and the Echo unfortunately gets shanked by the Zofia.
That was so aggressive. He just ran out of like pistol bullets. He's like, forget it. I'm just going to go in for the knife kill. At this point, we've already won this round. I'm just going in. Nicely played. I can't believe he went off of, like you said, just caught completely off guard. He saw the Echo just coming off the Yokai way too late. Unfortunate round there. Overall, that is looking very good for Liquid after that.
Yeah, all of Vitality is basically focused on one part of the site, which is the execute from kitchen. Not expecting anybody to come in from the side. Unfortunately, Team Liquid had a lot of manpower in that position, and they're just able to come in from the side. So 4v3, you kind of have to fall back from the kitchen. I can't blame the Meister for that because you know, you have a Blitz coming in, you have the Habanas coming in from the side as well that has hold on the window at the same time. You have the Ying that's chucking in Candelas to the back. It's a bit of a mess.
Well, yeah, you're going to be focused on where those Candelas land. I think is really the thing. That's going to be the big distraction. Everyone's going to focus on where are these Candelas coming from. That's what we have to worry about. Unfortunately, that mute turned into a Legion. I thought we were going to see our first mute there.
But you know why people now will throw in flashes right before the Candelas? It's because when you're expecting Candelas at the last few seconds of the round, you're mostly going to just peek and try to get a kill off of it.
Yeah,
before it actually blinded. Yeah, but before it actually blinds you, you're just going to peek and try to go for a kill. Unfortunately for you, you're most likely going to be flashed, and that's not something that you can really deal with. Now, Team Liquid are bringing Sexy Cake on the Thatcher. Vitality with no disruption on theirs.
It was a nice 6-pick, too, from that Blitz, because they're going to be expecting that Blitz again because, well, it's been somewhat effective for them. They won the last 2 rounds, even though, you know, he didn't live through most of that first attack round. Still been effective, and looking pretty good for Liquid to maybe take more attack rounds here. So far, they've been dominant 2 rounds in a row. Of course, if they can win this next round, then that puts them in a position for at least guaranteed overtime, if nothing else, for this map. Of course, it is best of 3, so it's not like we have tie situations like we do during Pro League. Nonetheless, it's still a great position to be in, having that 5 points first. Puts you really in the driver's seat on the map. And of course, this was Vitality's map pick, but this is one that I said that we were talking about earlier that they might have been saving a lot of strats for. And we'll see how those work out because they're not going to go to Bar. They're actually going to go to Hookah for their third. So Hookah definitely getting a lot more play than we usually see it. So it's been interesting. But of course, that's to be expected, right? Because when it comes to an event like this, you're going to be preparing things you weren't showing during the normal season. Of course, these teams hadn't shown anything during it, but nonetheless, playing off meta.
Yeah, but quite a few teams as well have been going more and more often towards play on Hookah. It's a site that has kind of found its own. It does require you to hold VIP and the penthouse for as long as possible. They're basically your extra levels of defense because otherwise you have the balcony, you have aquarium, and then you're right into the site.
Interesting to see the AR-33 being run by Sexy Cake here on Thatcher as well. This is an uncommon gun to run on Thatcher, but nonetheless, it's still an effective one. I imagine the L85 might get played even better once the recoil changes come into the next patch because the site misalignment rather, because the L85 is infamously one of the ones that has a bit more of a problem with that. But nonetheless, AR-33 is still a fairly effective gun, especially indoors.
Yeah, and that's why you're going to bring it for higher rate of fire. And that's why you see the dot sight being put on it instead of having the ACOG, which is fairly, you know, it is still very easy to control, even with an ACOG, that's for sure.
Well, we'll see how they get this execute going here as they're slowly pushing in. They've almost got control of the beginning part of the pool table here. Fortunately, those drones getting shot out means that they're still lacking a little bit of intel. We'll see if they can stall it. They do have Rafael on the Echo, so they could start to get stunned once they feel like they have control over here. But we saw what happened last time when Nesk just walked into a room and took it over. Still could happen this round.
All right, you'll see Sexy Cake just moving in, but the Goomine unfortunately will alert his opponents. He just sprays into the back.
Good pre-fire.
There's 38 seconds on the clock. There's quite a bit of time, and oh no, the Yokai is spotted. So now Vitality cannot afford to stay so far off the site. We'll finally see the second frag grenade thrown in. to no avail, and they come into the back, spraying in. Bibu just peeks up and gets one, gets two! Two for Bibu here. Sexy Cake and Nesker down on the floor. Bullet in from the side as Zig has not used any of his Adrenal Surge. He gets 2 kills off of the LMG, but no usage of the utility. Bibu with a 3rd kill here on the Legion. Still alive. Finally, though, Zig will go down by the Legion on the side. Bibu will rotate back as no! Bibu walks into the Claymore, and Liquid cannot believe it!
They are definitely half.
Oh my god!
Feels so bad for them right now.
Oh my god.
Poor Vitality. Well played round, but unfortunately jumping into a Claymore, not the
They had it!
Yeah.
They had it! Who puts the Claymore out there on the drop?
Exactly what you're counting on. Well done, Liquid. And that puts them, again, like I said, in the driver's seat in that 5-3 advantage here. They went into the side switch with the disadvantage and have come out so strong.
It has been so close, though.
Yeah.
In all of these rounds, you've seen rounds go really completely in one way, and then we saw the clutch from Spark. We saw how well Vitality are playing, and unfortunately, it's these small things that really will make or break your whole game. This is one when you're playing at the highest level. A single mistake, a single thing that you're not expecting, you haven't planned and calculated, might just be the thing that loses you the game. It's,
absolutely.
Even if it's 5-3, it actually is very, very close, much closer than even a 5-3 scoreline would tell you.
Yeah, definitely been a good match, and this is just the first map between these two. No 6 picks coming out there. They are going to stick with this Finka Blitz combo here, which I wouldn't say was fairly effective last round. Like we talked about, Zig didn't use the adrenal boost at all till the very end, and right when he, of course, finally triggers it, gets shot in the process. It's unfortunate, because I think that's ironic given the fact that you can use it to pick up a downed player, but if you're that downed player, it's not happening. That's definitely a funny situation to be in, but nonetheless, the Claymore saving the day, so it worked out okay. We'll see, though, if Vitality can bring it back this round, because we did see them win. There was 3 attack rounds won the other way as well, but they were not in a row, so this is looking very strong for Liquid, despite how good you're seeing in terms of score from Vitality, in terms of frag count.
You know, the cash money Claymore.
Definitely feels good for Liquid, who've gotten a couple of kills they didn't expect.
Yeah, it might be literally worth its weight in gold. If Team Liquid take this first map, it'll give them an advantage, of course, coming into map number 2, and then, you know, possibly taking it 2-0, maybe, you know, having an advantage, a mental one as well, going into map number 3, if we actually do go for that. And, you know, I would not be too sad to see that here, of course.
I wouldn't be surprised either, though, between these two teams. You've seen how neck and neck it's been. But that's the thing, though, is neck and neck could also mean that one team just ekes out a 1-point advantage on both maps, and then it ends up being a 2-0, yet despite how close it was, you still don't see a third map. So it is interesting how that can happen in terms of, like, you expect, oh, this should absolutely go to a third map. But if it's, you know, one of the teams that happens to eke it out both times on both maps, that happens to be the one that goes home the winner. And, of course, that is the point of best of 3. Well, in this case, not home, really. You go to the next part, but either way.
Yeah, it's home. Paris is home.
It is for Vitality, not so much for Liquid, but they're trying to make it home here for 5-3.
So this is an attack into the penthouse, so most important thing we'll remind you is, hey, let's walk into VIP, take control of that. Let's take control of the hatch and bathroom, take control of bathroom itself. All that entire plane around the penthouse. Very important to control of, and of course a big part of it is that Hall of Fame. Now nobody's contesting from the inside of it, but there you go. Adrenal Surge to walk into the Jaeger, and Nesk from the side will get the kill. That's why you see the Blitz actually turning his shield to the side, as it still will block bullets. Zephyr, though, getting the kill on Nesk. So it's a 1-on-1 trade, very important for Vitality to get the trades in this one.
Well, especially if you're going to trade on anyone, trading onto Nesk is a good trade to make. I'd say in this case they actually came out on the advantage there and forced a Sexy Cake back a little bit because he was getting crossfired and couldn't push like he wanted to on that hallway.
Yeah, of course, this is round number 9, which means this is match point. Team Liquid on 5. They need that 6th round to end it all there. Vitality, only way they can survive on this map is to tie it 5-5. You see, this is the way that you'll see these Hibana X Kairos being set up, but they get shot from the side, so now the Blitz has to be careful of anybody coming in from the back. Zig takes a lot of damage on the Finka, as everybody has been boosted, but this boost now only lost for 10 seconds. Zephyr will find the angle with the ACOG. Bibu will peek for another one, and Spark for one more, leaving only Sexy Cake alone. How good is your shield when all of your teammates are dead and dust at C4 down? And Spark blows it right in the face of Sexy Cake. You see the team here, Vitality, are much happier in their position.
Spark, that's the second time he's gotten the last kill with the C4. He's very good on that C4 throws. That's something you really have to practice because the angle of it, the kind of arc that you have to get to clear things, it takes a lot of practice to be that good at.
Yeah, and not only that, but it's because when you're playing with anything that has it's an explosive, either it's a grenade or even with a C4, you're kind of throwing the projectile as you're moving, and moving it, of course, means that you're transferring your own momentum. That was a change that was built into the game not too long ago.
It's one that's like, it can throw you off at first, but you can use it later to be able to get different distances that you might want to get. But like we said, practice definitely makes a difference. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a pause here before we go to what still could be the final round, but at least 5-4 now makes it there's that much more of a chance that we will go to an overtime, which of course is the normal best of 3 overtime system to first to get 2 points there.
We're going to make sure that this is if this is a tactical timeout or not, because we'll remind you that tactical timeout, there you go, it is a tactical timeout, so there's nothing out of the ordinary here, no problems at all. It is basically at LAN, every single map, each team has the ability to use one tactical timeout that can be called either by the team or by the coach that is standing behind them. And this is Vitality calling in this here. So I'm assuming that that Bios was like, okay, guys, let's bring it here. We can take it to overtime. So this is crunch time. This is the best one. Their performance the previous round was excellent. So now this is just for Vitality to reset and put their minds into this. At the same time, though, Liquid are allowed to talk to one another and to their coach
as well. They can use Vitality's timeout to their own advantage. It could be like, how can we close this out? How can we do the same? So both teams should come to this. I expect next round to be a little bit different in terms of how they're going to play it out. They're really thinking about what are we doing well, what are we doing poorly. What can we do to adjust it? But of course, as you mentioned, the other team doing the same thing means it's still going to be the same kind of back and forth. It's of course whoever can come out ahead, but it also gives you a chance mentally to really like steal yourself.
It's resetting mentally, making sure that you're really back in the game, not just physically but also mentally. You get the whole team and okay, this is where we're going to play. This is how we're going to try to play it out. This is what our mistakes have been. We'll try to fix through that. So I'm excited to see how these technical timeouts will be used. We had them. We'll head into the game here, by the way, but we'll also remind you that these tactical timeouts were introduced not too long ago, just like I believe 6 months ago, and now we have teams that can. I think it was Atlantic City. Yeah, even less than 6 months actually. It's not been too long, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But you can use those tactical timeouts to your advantage. Make sure you talk to your coach. Make sure that you're ready to go for your matches here. We'll see a Bope operator, Capitao, being brought in by Sexy Cake, and there won't be any change in the op. So it'll be interesting. It's very much to counter the fact that that'll probably be a Jaeger.
I still think that shield was pretty effective, but in this case, they're going to be thinking about what the bomb site is and what they might have to play against, because now they're going to the secondary bomb site. They know it's going to be kitchen.
And also for Liquid, they know that they'll have to deal with someone in VIP. And where has the Jaeger been? It's like Dora the Explorer.
Well, yeah, it's a perfect way to kill the Jaeger in that corner because your ADSs won't stop those firebolts. So
indeed.
I do think that is a good read because they're going to need to take that corner to be able to take kitchen. They kind of read into that. And there's not a crossfire. Like we saw when Liquid playing defense in it, they would play 2 people in there to help guard that Jaeger. But Vitality don't play it the same way. They put just the Jaeger in the corner and that's it. So yeah, I think that is a perfect adjustment coming out of Sexy Cake to be able to counter him, assuming he can pull it off at the right time. Of course, Jaeger could peek just at the right time as well and shoot his face as he's trying to prep the bolt. So could work either way.
You might be playing it from Hall of Fame, which is the position where you're most likely to be shot by the Jaeger, but you can play it, of course, from the outside window. You can.
You just have to be careful though, because it could hit anything on the way there and stop the bolt.
And that's the thing. You can precisely guide the bolt to exactly where you want it to be. And that's a big part of why Capitao is played. But you get 4 of them, 2 are smoke and 2 are firebolts, and you can use those firebolts into the side. That's exactly what we're mentioning here. Sexy Cake will come into drone from the side as Nesk is right behind. It's one of the biggest strengths in Latin America, and especially Team Liquid, which is making sure that there's always a drone ahead of you, but you're also taking control, taking map control as you're moving up. And Zephyr is spotted in the back of VIP, so Bullet will continue to feed information to his teammates.
We'll see if that information will matter here because, of course, this is an important round for this map because this either decides if they go to overtime or they move on to Oregon. Zephyr going to be playing actually aggressive in the hallway instead of in that corner. So Capital not needed to execute on that because Bullet gets the kill, but does take a little tiny smidge of damage from there. Nesk finishing off Spark. That's a good kill.
Yeah, we'll spot one player on the inside here of Theater, but Bibu is going to prep the drop, and there we go. He tries to go for the silent drop into the lobby. Will fall back to the site most likely. Vitality back on the 3 players, and last time we saw this, Team Liquid absolutely smashed into the site, and we saw Bullet coming in from the back, finishing off his opponent. So, what will Vitality do? They have to stick on the site. They have the best 3 anchors for the business, or in the business.
Well, that didn't matter last time when we saw Bullet just run in from the backside. I got to imagine they're going to be a little more prepared for that this time, though.
Right, so Liquid will try to use their vertical advantage, try to maybe get some info, some snipes on their opponents before heading into the site, as Zig will have 2 more Adrenal Surges to use. With 50 seconds on the clock, Bride won't be able to stagger his smokes effectively. Yeah,
this is definitely working out a bit better for Liquid, because this time they have the Finka still left alive, whereas they did not last time on this tech. So we'll see if they can execute on it. They have enough time to execute in 5v3, but it's taken them a bit of time to get towards the site itself.
The LMG will come in from the side here. Zig will go to the kitchen window, try to play it from there, though. I've assumed that was the last gas canister, throw it in from the smoke. Speed is playing in the back. Oh, there we go. He will chuck in his final canister. The back bullet coming in, though, from the front door, as Rafal will get one. Bibu for the second actually ties it to a 3v3. Rafal somehow gets one more with the set me, as he'll fall back. He's low on health, but Zig cannot pick himself back up. It's all up to Nesk. One of the best clutchers in the business here. Still has to deal with Rafal. It's one down, but Spark gets the last one with the goo mine. It trades it off, and Vitality tie it 5-5 to head into overtime.
That was definitely a much better coverage in terms of how they were holding that site that time. Obviously not falling victim to Bullet walking in the other door. So that does bring it to overtime. Now, Vitality, that technical timeout, or tactical timeout seeming to work out for them.
Oh, yes. Definitely the case. So that's something that was kind of expected. Both teams are staples of their regions. They have a lot to show, a lot to offer. And when you're playing on LAN with so many high stakes, there's bound to be extremely close matchups and extremely close rounds that you have, especially on here. Even though the advantage was fully in Team Liquid's side with 5 players versus 3, even one of them being damaged, still was Team Liquid coming to a halt against the solid brick wall that was Vitality on the kitchen defense. But start off with Team Liquid on the attack, and this is where famously Latin American teams will have an advantage, bringing the blitz, something that NIP really like to do as well. And Liquid will not falter. Zig is still bringing the Finka again. Vitality, though, pretty standard lineup. 2 ACOGs, Rafal, Zephyr with an ACOG each. That's an Echo and a Doc.
Yeah, we'll see if we see any cheeky peeks come out. I mean, it tends to be Doc to be the one to do it, so it wouldn't surprise me to see. I feel like one round where we saw some holes opened up on the hookah, for example, and setting up like they were going to do a jump out, really slowed them down. You saw Sexcake, for example, trying to peek with the blitz the whole time. Just opening up those small bits of windows, I think, was the best idea in terms of delaying that push. They're not going to repeat that this round, but I mean, Liquid definitely starting on the advantage by getting attacked first here, I think. But we did see a good comeback for at least 2 rounds. I mean, so far we've seen a mirror, right? We've seen both teams 3 attack rounds and 2 defense rounds. So that's, of course, why they're 5-5. But that means both teams can attack and defend about equally in terms of at least getting 2.
All right. So, of course, Team Liquid starting off. We'll remind you that on the attack, but we'll remind you as well that our overtimes are still the same as they have always really been. It's a best of 3 overtime. So you start off on the attack. Well, you keep going until really you win 2 out of those 3 rounds. There's no other way, unless I don't think we've ever had a tie, like a actual draw in overtime.
No, where you end up like in some weird kind of 7-7, 8-8 sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen here, but
you never know.
That aside, it is Team Liquid versus Vitality on map number 1. It is already so close and so tight. So I wonder what both teams have in store for a second one. We will have a winner at the end of the next 2, maximum 3 rounds. You see how Vitality are really set up around the site. There's nobody to support outside of Zephyr. I wonder if he has an angle to play in from the hallway, using the soft wall to his advantage. No.
Yeah. Oh.
No, he does not. It's even reinforced at one angle. He only has, you know, the initial part of it that is soft. It makes a lot of sense that the back is reinforced just so the Jaeger is safe.
Well, we'll see. They don't have the Capitao this time to firebolt him out of there, and he actually tries to take a shot towards Sexy Cake's back, but can't find the angle. So he's allowed to live and start pushing on the door. That Hall of Fame not seeming to really matter too much in terms of control there, because they're just ignoring Jaeger at this point.
Yeah, and it really did work out for them before, because you saw them just coming in and planting on the site, though they do have to deal with the smoke that is playing in the bathroom, the fully reinforced wall. I don't know if they're willing to use PSK's X-Kairos in that wall to open things up. Bullet is on the outside of the main window. He hasn't spotted the smoke inside just yet, or at least not really standing up to contest him. There you go. Sexy Cake will give the information. You see Bullet will fall back. Doesn't really want to get pushed. He'll want to have the advantage against the smoke, who sets up in the shower. Unfortunately, an easy spot for Bullet to take him out.
I like how he just takes control of the bathroom immediately after by dropping in to set up for this plant here for PSK, giving the additional coverage. Now it's going to be on plays like Spark C4 to save this.
Yeah, and unfortunately here for Vitality, is they getting the kill on a Spark. Unfortunately for them, the Bride will have to deal with the Ash. And there you go, Nesk is just ready for him. They'll try to deny the plant, but it will not connect as the shield will block the yokai being thrown in. Rafael is on the floor. Sexy Cake will get the last one on Zephyr. 3K there for Mr. Cake.
I like that the adaptation, though. He's getting hit by the yokai drone, so rather than just try and shoot it and expose yourself, he just stands in front of it, just takes the blast for him.
Yep.
Not to mention that blocks from Doc's shots as well, so well played by Sexy Cake on managing to cover that plant and force them right into the bullets after that. Nice adaptation by Bullet as well to rotate around and get that kill into the bathroom and take control of it, but I'm surprised again that it took him so long to do that, because every time that wall's reinforced there, you got to imagine there's probably someone in there, and he's just not able to kind of get a kill on that early. Either way, though, it didn't completely hurt them that time.
Yeah, which is why we were seeing Team Liquid not reinforcing the entirety of the wall into the penthouse. And it's something that is a completely different way of playing. It's one where if you reinforce everything, you're going to playing in and around the site on the inside of the penthouse. If, on the other hand, you're planning on putting more players outside of it, then you have to have that hole, really. And that's the way that Team Liquid are doing it. And it has worked out pretty nicely for them, you know. Sexy Cake definitely did a lot of work, and we all know it's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake.
A sexy one.
You got to do the cooking by the book.
Well,
you can't be lazy. I'm definitely not 13, by the way.
I cannot verify. So we'll see. Interesting, the first pulse coming out here from Nesk. So he's 6th pick over to that. No one's going to be expecting that because, of course, we have yet to see a pulse. And if you were going to be expecting anyone to be playing pulse, it'd be Zig. So
yep.
This should definitely throw them off at least a little bit. They're going to try Penthouse as well, see if they can defend it effectively this time. And again, this is a defense they have yet to show, because they did not play Penthouse at all on their defensive rounds before. So this is going to be something different from Liquid that might throw Vitality off, which is what I was saying earlier they need to do to really take the advantage over Vitality, is throw them off, be unpredictable. So this might be the round that clutches out in terms of getting that 7-5 and moving on to Oregon.
5 seconds left before insertion.
All right, we'll see the entirety of the wall being reinforced here, and really even the majority of the back here in the theater, so not much will be used on the other side by the pool room or by the hookah. Or see the pick again from Sexy Cake. Nobody's spawning in ruins.
It's worth a shot.
Literally.
Well, nonetheless, they definitely will be pressuring the usual side here over towards the window. Zafir back on that glass, as he's been doing so well on it. See if they can manage to pick up this round. Like I said earlier, both teams have been just about as effective on attack, so there is a good chance this could still go to 6-6. But nonetheless, this should throw them off as it's a different site. So we'll see how good their execute is on actually taking Penthouse. They're definitely going to have to worry about Nest on that pulse, though, hiding down in the bar.
Yeah, and it's something that usually happens, but I'm not sure if Vitality are ready for that in this round. Now, Bibu, you see him running with the RG-15. We'll remind you as well that if you're running around with your pistol, does not include SMG 11 or 12 or bearing 9, then you do have a speed boost around 5 or 10% compared to your base speed. So, remind you as well that 1 speeds have had a bit of a boost. I think it's like 10% speed boost, and 3 speeds have had a 10% speed reduction. So it's there. Operators are a lot closer. Not as scenic as they were.
It's definitely made a difference, I think, and of course, especially for IQ, because you're gonna be running with your pistol out half the time, anyways. Same with bullets and things like that. So there's definitely some attackers, especially, that will get an advantage from that.
Alright, so banana for scale there on the IQ. Of course, the charm being set up. Sexy Cake, though, will have to worry about the Hibana hole that was opened up. Team Liquid, in this case, not really running the same style as they were before. They're relying a lot more on, as you mentioned, the pulse from Nesk. And he's playing still downstairs, all to shut down the attackers that are coming in from the main hall. Just to come into the penthouse from Hall of Fame. Can just instantly get a pick with the C4. Bibu, though, checking in from the bathroom, has not found anybody yet. It's a close angle being held by the bed here from Sexy Cake. And he will fall back. Nobody really watching the window. Where is Zephyr?
Yeah, definitely. He's rotating up right now, but it's taking him too long. He's so concerned about a rotate from the lobby.
And he should be, really.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
Bullet
fine.
getting the kill. Zephyr down on the floor, not really expecting that. Well, we're really expecting that, but there's nobody really to help him out. And 20 seconds left on the clock as you hear the Candelas being chucked in from Rafal. Now the open wall will play against Vitality in this position. Zig, though, dropping in 2 kills for Vitality's Bullet will hit one with the C4. Bride with another one. It's now a 2 versus 3 for the advantage of Vitality. Nesk has not used his utility just yet. Bride finding the angle, though, in the hallway. And it's a 3v1 up to Nesk. The Clutch Master, who's not running a C4 on the pulse.
What?
It's a barbed wire. Why?
6th pick, I guess. He is getting callouts, though, from his team.
Now he's coming in from the side, and he'll get one onto Bride. Low on health here. The diffuser is spotted right beside the bed. Nesk will try to come in. The wall is not reinforced here in the bathroom. He'll have to deal against 2 players that are sitting up close to him. And the crossfire lands Vitality of the round, who tie it 6-6. Ladies and gentlemen, literally the first game in the group stage of the major. It is down to the wire. We have literally just begun. It's so good.
It's definitely how it should be. And we're still going to have at least one more map after this. So, as I said, though, it's to be expected where you'll see them go neck and neck. But one team has to win the map by at least 1 point, which means if it could be the same team 2 times in a row, then we will not see a 3rd map. But at least we'll see Oregon, if nothing else. But we'll see. Liquid have been very good on attack, though, so chances are this is going to go Liquid's way. We will see it go down to Bar. Vitality also bringing out a surprise. Now, Vitality didn't play Bar on their defense. So both teams trying to save that 4th site as a bit of a surprise for this overtime. It did work out. It didn't work out, I mean, for...
So, you see, because we're paused here, the timer is paused. It means that... it was Team Liquid because Vitality had already used their timeout. Team Liquid have called their tactical timeout, so they're going to try to use that to advantage. Of course, the winner of round number 13 is the winner of this first map in this best-of-3 set. So there's a lot of stakes here on the board, to say the least. And you see Team Liquid talking to Sensi, trying to make sure that everybody is on board with the strategies. He's got his playbook with him, and of course the admin's next to him, making sure that at the end of the minute pause, he's going to have to fall back and let his players execute on those words, and maybe, hopefully for them, we'll be able to get the round off of the French locals, as Vitality are definitely putting work in this very first game. The thing is, they hit coastline for the entirety of the half season.
Yeah, you really want to win it, because not only did you spend 6 bans hiding it, you picked the map as well. You're really hoping to show it here, and it's not really working out in the sense that they have yet to win it, but they still could. However, like I said, Liquid at the slight advantage here because attack has been stronger than defense, which is absolutely not unusual for Coastline.
Yep, indeed, indeed. And of course, Liquid has won their first attack here in overtime. The second one was won by Vitality. Even though Team Liquid had the advantage on the retake with all the angles working their way, fortunately for them, Vitality were just set up for crossfires every single time. 15 kills and 14. 1 for Nest, 1 for Bullet. And then everybody else, really, they're just taking the kills away. 29 kills between 2 players in 13, now starting 13 rounds. Oh my god.
It's definitely been some strong players on both teams really carrying their team. Not carrying the team in the sense of like the team couldn't do without them, but really like pushing them forward in terms of.
This is like an oh my god. This is what languages do we say it at this point? This is oh mon dieu. This is meu deus. What is going on here? It's insane to see high performance like this in the very first game so early in the morning. Really, that all ties into the mindset. And I'm glad that all these teams were able to boot camp in Europe. And this is an odd Castlebear kid. Castlebear getting the courtyard door.
Yeah, they definitely want to be able to roam in lobby, it seems. We'll see if that works out for them, but it's definitely an oddball defense in terms of the way they're using that utility.
There's no C4s even for Vitality, so I wonder how they're going to play the player below. Yeah. This is it's definitely going to throw a wrench in the works of Team Liquid.
I mean, it might open up a bit of the floor to be able to get some angles, I guess, but still, it's definitely a different way to do it. They do have at least the Echo and the Smoke to be able to delay on site. They're not bringing the Maestro like they did sometimes on the kitchen defense. But see how they play this here. Yeah, some good drone setups here to be able to try and get some coverage of flanks. Although they're a little bit covered by the books.
Oh, yeah. Bullet.
Yeah,
there you go.
Close call. Texkit gonna be on that blitz again.
They'll have to deal with the Jaeger in the back, and they have gotten the spot, so easiest way to do it, go with all your Geshmut mines, and you can still push Sexy Cake inside. He rushes in, and Sexy Cake bashes Zephyr over the head, and that is the first kill of the round. That'll be the camera taken out as well in the back. Vitality. They've wasted, though, so much utility to push into the one Jaeger. It's not too bad for Vitality in this position as the player went off-site, though unfortunately the Goo Mine will be spotted by Sexy Cake as he takes it out. No damage done here on the rotation though. Oh, there! Oh
wow.
No!
Hip
Sexy
fire.
Cake hip fires headshots into Spark, and we turn into a 5v3 again.
He's playing a very effective blitz here, to say the least. A knife and then a hip fire kill. Definitely playing it smart. Not even using up a ton of ammo here so far. Does take a little bit of damage, but not too much, and he's holding these stairs for his team, forcing a lot. Look, pretty much at this point, all the defenders forced downstairs to try and hold on site. Now this gives them the opportunity to set up at their positions as it's a 5v3. This is looking very Liquid favored.
Yeah, they're going to have to push in from the back, though, but because Team Liquid has the 2-man plus advantage, they can play from the windows, come in from the main doorways, and all of that will play into the disadvantage, though. Gas canisters will get thrown in at the 32-second mark. Speedy has set up his Yokai. I wonder if he has a second one available here, but there's one just watching the attackers pushing in, and Sexy Cake will run in, try to play against the smoke. Zig will inhale a lot of that smoke, though Rafael will get one. He gets taken out. No! Zig with a team kill! Unfortunately, he goes down to Bibi when a 2v2. Sexy Cake's on the floor, and the Habana goes down. Rafael and Vitality will take map number 1. The team kill from Zig. Unfortunate! But Vitality up on the board, and the local French heroes, they put up that. What a fantastic performance, 7-6. Absolutely beautiful for our first map and our first game. I cannot wait to see what Oregon has in store for us.
I definitely got to feel like Zig's going to be kicking himself for that team kill, because that might have been the difference maker there, but Bibu,
Lack of
16.
comms.
Definitely. Yeah, lack of comms, like you said. Just when you have 5-man advantage like that, they're all trying to do their own thing to pinch on that. And unfortunately, yeah, they're going to crossfire each other at that point.
Very much unfortunate here for Team Liquid. Of course, our reigning Pro League champions from our Atlantic City finals in the USA. It's pretty good to go there. But here in Paris, it seems like the Frenchmen will have the advantage early on. But we'll take a look at our highlights from this first map, as there have been quite a few, and we'll talk about some of the more important parts of it. And here, the fact that they're still able to play, really both teams, but especially Liquid, setting up in VIP with the Jaeger is very difficult for Vitality to deal with them. And the fact that Nesk was just able to move around the map all the time didn't help at all.
Yeah, they're definitely able to play a very effective, fluid defense as well as the offense. I mean, both teams had a very careful set of attacks there. Saw some good slow pushes there. PSK, though, with a nice, like, it was interesting to see the way the holes were used against both teams in terms of the rotates and things like that on those walls. But Nesk on that round just taking control of that site. I was surprised he got killed before, just before that spark clutch attempt there. That was unfortunate. The timing could not get that defuse off.
I hear a bullet coming in from the back, getting the 3K. This was a bit of a blunder, but it's not like Vitality could have really done too much against it. They didn't have the manpower to deal with it, and this
Yeah, we didn't get to see it on cam before. Now we finally get to see it.
drops right into it, and let's slow-mo this. Thank you very much here.
The
2,
anticipation.
1, and bloop. Let's go. Bring it up, and
Unlucky.
blows up. That was pretty fantastic, to say the least. Unfortunately, that round was lost pretty much all through the Claymore. Bibu had done so much work with the with his T5. Unfortunately, that round did not go the way of Vitality. However, Map 1 goes their way. 7-6 is a scoreline, and tight throughout the whole game. So I cannot wait to see what Oregon has in store.
It'll be interesting because Liquid have played it twice during the season, but tied both times against Team 1 and against NIP. So they have had the best run, because I feel like they should have won at least one of those, whereas Vitality have won one and lost one on it. So, but the one that they won was the 6-2. So they won very strongly on it when they did win, but this is going to come down to operator bans.
They tied against Penta 5-5 on this, and really they had the advantage on the attack. So when you're playing on Oregon, especially with the way things are at the highest level of play, you're getting a lot of rounds on the attack.
Yeah.
So even if you're up, 3-2, 4-1, and to some extent 5-0, but it's still very close. But like a 4-1 on the attacking side, it's not impossible to see a comeback 4-4 and even force an overtime from it. So that don't get too much ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Maybe this will be a case where we'll see the Echo finally banned out this time by Vitality.
Would make a lot of sense.
But it seems like both teams were more than happy to use it on Coastline, so it could go either way. And we have seen them ban Mute in the past instead, and what we talked about earlier, it didn't really work out great for them, so it wasn't the best situation, but they won either way. So it's, obviously against Penta, it was smarter to ban Echo, and I think they probably will here. But the operator bans really could be interesting on this map, because we could see, bans of some of the more important operators like Hibana, for example, to open the hatch, or Thatcher to help counter the mute. Things like that could really affect this map.
Yeah, the interesting part is that on map 1, Vitality used the Echo fairly effectively, and when they had to deal with it, they basically just ran in an IQ to get the kill on him.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a valid way.
Not
to
as
do
easy
it.
to pull it off on this map.
That's
though.
for sure. Though we might be seeing pushes from the tower as well. Ying will be banned by Team Liquid. I wonder if Vitality will ban the shield in here, because Blitz can really cause a lot of havoc.
Well, he certainly did last map, that's for sure.
Would make a lot of sense. Makes you the Lion. There we go. European teams in general just do not like playing with or against Lion, and I can see why. But
well, it's interesting that Dokkaebi is still on the board, because that's something that Liquid had banned the last time they played this map. And it's a case where we saw it definitely ban last, but this is not as roamer heavy as we've seen the last map. There's that ban on Echo we're talking about from Vitality. Not a huge surprise there, but it was more of a surprise they didn't ban it last map, and instead just chose to use it as much as possible, like you said, fairly effectively.
all right, let's see if Mira will be banned at the end. No, Legion.
Ooh,
what
choice?
Oh, they don't want anything really to. So the Echo Legion ban kind of works out very well for Liquid if they get on the attack. So now Liquid will try to take as many rounds on the defense as possible. So like 2, 3 would be great for them. And then once they get to the attack, that shield will have only the smoke really to play against them, and C4s. But Mira is gonna be played, so I'm happy. Everybody's happy. She's not always banned. There she is.
It's usually more of a 50-50 sort of thing.
Well, for EU, it's like more of a 90.
Well, yeah, that's true. Well, and the mute actually going to get brought out. That 6th pick there, good choice there by Liquid to deny the hatch a little bit longer. It doesn't make a huge difference though, but they didn't bring a Thatcher, so
Yeah,
Blackbeard is an interesting choice.
I love this Blackbeard pig here. This is something that Vitality, their one French analog in this sort of play would be Millennium, where they will run a Blackbeard consistently when it is available. Sexy trying to set up his mute jammers. Of course, if you set up on one side, and the fact that they have 2 on here is actually much better than just having 1.
Well, it makes it so it's much harder to find the right corner.
Yes. And it's very difficult to do it, especially if there is a thermite. If there's a Hibana, it's a lot easier to do it.
You can shoot the discs to adjust.
Exactly. Whereas here, you don't really have that option.
No, you just have to go for blowing the wall at that point. So it's pretty much going to have to be about using the school wall to open it up.
And that might not be too easy with the fact that those two are just here. Now, Vitality might be slowed down, but if they go through their normal checklist, this will be very easy to deal with early on in the round. But if Team Liquid keep poking here and there, trying to get damage on them, it forces Vitality to focus a lot more on the roamers, which means they're going to lose a lot of time.
Yeah, it's always the way it is with Vitality.
Yeah, Zephyr was pretty much going to hold this angle for the rest of the round.
It's his job now, is just to make sure no one rotates that.
Basically.
They do have the ability to make some phone calls, though, to help with those roamers, so maybe that will be a factor in terms of trying to control them or at least stall the roamers out. They do have some meeting hall defensive setup as well. So they're going for a tower-sided push here to try and control that, but I like the little holes being poked into the wall there.
I like the fact that they're using the SR-25. I was having this talk with Renshiro, actually, Millennium, and he's telling me, like, the SR-25 is still really, really, really good. It's just, it depends on how you're going to play it. If you're going to mostly watch angles or move up very slowly, the SR-25 would be your better pick. However, if you're looking at more aggressive plays, of course, you've got to be running the more X-17 because it allows you to play with a higher rate of fire up close, just consistent damage that'll be shot out the rifle. But Bullet will have to fall back, and now he's kind of pinched around. He's not sure where his opponents are.
I like that they've chosen to attack from the backside, seeing all the adjustments. They had the mute jammers, they had the part of the lower half of the school wall open. So they made sure that it was going to be very difficult for Thermite to open this, knowing that they were probably going to be running a Thermite was a smart strategy in terms of trying to do their best to deny any kind of lobby push, and they've done that. So now seeing a forced push from the tower side, and Zephyr already taken half his life and damage from an early smoke.
All right, see the soft mirror window being set up in the back, and where's that? Is that? Okay, it's facing on the outside. All right, and the second one being put. So there's no mirror window in the default position looking in from the laundry. So it means that PSK has set up the mirror window upstairs and then left the second one in his back pocket until he figured out where the attack would be coming.
You can see a lot of that wall was shot out as well, just in case he needed to rotate it around. So that was, yeah, a smart setup just in case. This is looking like it's working out, at least because no one has died yet. 40 seconds left here. Could work out for Liquid, but Vitality are infamous for this.
And the odd thing is that the that mirror somehow is still just up in the air. No holes have been shot below, though. A trade-off, Vitality losing one and trading off here.
Wow.
The shotgun range not gonna work it, but Sexy Cake will land the shot. C4 from PSK finds the angle on Bibu. Now it's a 4v2 advantage for Liquid. Nesk still up close and personal with the shotgun. He'll get the kill. He plays Anchor, he plays Roamer. He can do it all. C4 well timed to do some damage, and the Mira just sprays into the smoke just in case. They needed a bit more action from that. There we go. Just you're expecting your opponent to come from here, and that is Team Liquid to put round number 1 on the board.
A nice start there. They had a very good defensive setup. You saw all the prep and thought that was put into it. They basically set it up in a way that forced them to go to tower, and then were ready to switch sides as needed to be able to defend against that. Now, of course, the Vitality are going to smartly bring Habana, but it's too little too late for that particular bomb site. Kitchen Dining Hall is not what Vitality are going to be expecting here at all. Now, Kitchen is one that Vitality have played, but they're one of the few teams that will play a bomb site like that. So this is definitely going to throw them off. Nesk a little bit of a 6-pick there over to Bandit, who's going to be very important in denying the wall coming from the small tower. So that is going to be a big factor. And Sexy Cake actually playing a role that he has yet to play so far. This should be a very interesting defense. I don't think Vitality are going to be prepared for this either. It seems like Liquid, this is their map pick, and for good reason, because they're bringing a lot of surprises for Vitality.
Yeah, and they really need this. Team Liquid are set as one of the top teams to take the whole tournament. So they're really looking for that top spot in their group. We'll remind you that in the quarterfinal seeding, it's basically the #1 seed coming out of Group A that'll face the #2 seed from Group D. So you have Rogue, you have Secret, you have FaZe Clan, you have Orgos.
Not going to be an easy match.
Not going to be an easy match regardless.
You don't want to fight the group of death.
Yeah, but still, you would like to be against the second in that group instead of the first one.
Oh, absolutely.
Because no matter what, you're going to face a tough opponent, but make sure that it's just a tiny bit doable for you,
Absolutely.
more than facing the top there. So you got to be very careful to not drop out, because losing this game basically forces the team to play for the second spot out of the group. It's more matches as well, so have to play at day 3, whereas teams that get out of the group in the first 2 days, they have that extra day to prepare, to practice, to sit at home, get some rest, be ready for their play day in the playoffs on Friday. But Vitality here on the attack, taking it slow as is tradition, and Spark will just hold in with a Blackbeard. Now what a lot of teams will do is just come in from small tower and push in through the kitchen to clear out any roamers that are in there and push them back into the meeting hall to take them out.
Yeah, in this case, of course, they have to actually plant for the kitchen. So, of course, they're going to be pushing to take that small tower and open the wall. Now, of course, a thermite is usually the thing you bring for that, but they were not necessarily going to be prepared for this bomb site, so they're going to have to deal with using Habana instead. Meaning they need to save at least 2 X-Kairos, because if you don't have accessibility to push through towards that couch, you're really in a bad position to try and go for a plant, unless you can somehow control kitchen very reliably. Not an easy thing to do. They are going to start to try and push for the showers here, though. That Firebolt going to help with that, but PSK just narrowly dodging it.
Oh, the shotgun up close is definitely not going to help Zephyr here.
No.
Unfortunately, he can't really find the angle on the smoke as he just pulls in the back of the showers. There's not really anything that Zephyr could do against it. Now, Nesk is preparing to bandit trick, though the door is completely open. And there's nobody really from Vitality to push in from there.
Oh, as I say that, they're sneaking around.
No, they're sneaking around to that side. PSK will pop out his gas canisters. Bibu, he's watching for somebody to run out from the kitchen, but he's checking the drone hole as well, just in case he can find the angle. And there you go. He gets damage on Nesk. Unfortunately, there's nobody else to follow up on the kill. Zig, though, will get the first kill on Rafal. Unfortunate here for Vitality.
Well, it has been a slow push, and doing damage to Nesk was the important thing in getting them off of that, but losing Rafal is definitely going to hurt, because that's some of those smokes they were potentially going to use to help with that plant that are now lost. People are going to open up some of the wall there. They do have some angles now, but Nesk is still alive, and to be able to fight this, they have the man advantage here. I imagine they've got some C4s and smokes left as well. So this is definitely going to come down to whether or not they can push Nesk back to go for the plant. Sexy, though, going to get Zephyr in the meantime.
It's a big pick here to take down Zephyr. He had already used his fire bolts, but those smoke bolts can help out quite a bit to zone out their opponents. Unfortunately, the fact that Vitality did not bring in IQ, this kind of really gets complicated for them, because they cannot find the cameras that were set up by the Valkyrie. Though 1 kill here, at least that'll drop Nesk in the back, but have to deal with players in the hallway. Spraying from Bibu as he gets 1, and unfortunately for him, he'll have to walk through a tiny hole made by the Hibana at the last second. And PSK is just watching the angle. He stayed in that bathroom for the entirety of the round. Shotgun and SMG in hand. And there you go, Team Liquid of the very convincing round number 2. They get a 3rd round here on the defense, having played Kitchen as the offsite. Yeah, Liquid are very much looking good in this to take map number 2.
Yeah, they're definitely looking strong on it, but since they lost the first map just barely, now they're in a position where they've got to win Bank as well after this, which is, it's a good map for them, but still definitely an off position to be in. But it is looking like more and more likely that we will see Bank just off the way Liquid have been playing. They've definitely been catching Vitality off guard, which, as we said on Coastline, is the thing you need to do, because when Vitality know what to execute on, they're a refinement team, as you were saying earlier. They really like to do what they do, and they refine it and refine it rather than trying to do oddball things. So you have to do oddball things against them. And that kitchen play was definitely a good one.
That said, Vitality are a team that like to play kitchen. So we might be seeing them playing it as an offsite. Tower's not been super successful for a lot of teams.
Liquid is a team that has played Tower in the past, though, before it was more mandatory. So you never know. Could be good for both teams. It depends on whether or not the setup is flexible enough for the adjustments that they'll probably need to make, because both teams will know how to attack it fairly effectively. Fortunately, only 2 kills coming out at all for Vitality. 1 for Bibu and 1 for Brid. That's not looking great.
All right. So we'll get to see what Vitality do in this attack, as, of course, Liquid setting up their mirror windows this is odd. Usually what happens when you're in the kitchen is that you'll leave this wall completely reinforced and not put a mirror window on it. You'll put the mirror window from meeting hall to face it from there.
Yeah.
And allows your teammates to rotate in. Though, however, here, Liquid are kind of gonna box themselves inside of the bathroom and try to play around it here. They will have teammates at the top to help them. So Zig, what he's doing with the ITA right now is opening up specific positions in the floor to be able to find angles on his opponents as they try to come in. One of them, just one of the last ones that we'll be setting up, is what will allow him to shoot into the main doorway coming in from the dining hall into kitchen.
Yeah, basically they're kind of going make it or break it on the kitchen as opposed to holding a dining hall, like you said, which is interesting because, I mean, you usually do see teams either get a kill or have to fall back on that kitchen. So instead, they're just overcommitting to it. They're also playing the bathroom as well. And like you said, having the additional coverage from upstairs, because whoever's playing Kid's bedroom usually isn't doing much for the first half of the round. So that is a good way to play it. And we see a lot of teams taking advantage of that. And then instead of playing the meeting hall, Sexy Cake's actually just going to play outside of it, the kitchen door. So they're making sure to cover kitchen from all sides.
Right. Bibu just setting up here with his dual grenade launcher. Of course, the lifeline bring up to burn off ADSs that are set in the top by a bullet. Now, of course, Capital does not have grenades anymore, as you know, Bope operators do not have that available. But you can still chuck the fire bolts. They do not. They're not burned by ADS, but you can have your own angles to deal with your opponents. Unfortunately for Vitality, they'll have to deal with the pre-open holes that Team Liquid have set up right below those windows.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting a little stalled out on this because they were expecting to force someone out. Oh, there we go. Window getting open. That will definitely help there. Good use of that play.
That was a window from the bedroom looking into kids' dorms.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be.
It's not
interesting.
That's not usually what would be said. Usually, you won't even see a mirror window.
Usually, it's the other way around when they used to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, it's not really a great position for a mirror window, but.
Well, they're playing very off of the kids' bedroom. I mean, they had one person playing in there and they had the holes, but then they set it up as well, so they weren't having someone play between the windows, which is good because Captain was going to burn out anyways. Bibu, though, taking a lot of damage, and a C4 unfortunately misses the ceiling, but 2 kills from Liquid.
Oh, Sexy Cake going in for the third one, and there we go. The entire mag. Sexy Cake will get the kill. Brede and Zephyr, last 2 alive. Now you see Brede getting the angle onto Zig, taking him out in the attic. Have to come in and use Zephyr to his advantage by the white stairs. Oh no! He does not connect as he spots Nesk right at the edge of him. Brede will have to come in with a bearing 9 in hand. There's one player down on the floor, and Sexy Cake as well, worming around here. Sexy Cake will get the last kill as well. And the Valkyrie, you can't drop shot anymore, but you can just hold prone and spray your entire mag as the Habana, over dramatic as usual, will put that last round, or 3 rounds there, up on the board. Team Liquid definitely in an extremely favorable position. Yeah,
they are just dominating this defense. Like you said earlier, they're set up well for an attack strat, so any defensive rounds they get just help them even more with that. The fact that they've been so dominant on defense as well is just going to make this very, very difficult for a comeback from Vitality, but at least they have the first map, so regardless, they have the possibility of doing just fine in terms of once they get to a third map, because Bank is also one that Vitality could play pretty well. So, I mean, they have played it in the past. They did play it twice during the season. They did win it very, very strongly, 6-1 against Mocket. So, they can play well, though they also lost it against Team Secret. So,
in the meantime, though, Norarengu took map number 1 against Obey Alliance in a 6-4 on Border, actually.
Wow.
So, that is very impressive. I'll remind you that for the first 2 days, so today and tomorrow, we have 8 games, so 4 will be going live at the same time. 2, of course, are literally played at the same time. So not only do we have Vitality Liquid here, but also Obey Norarengu is being streamed on our B stream at twitch.tv/Rainbow6 Bravo. That's just as here, Rainbow with a 6, the number at the end, with BRAVO if you want to go and watch on there. Of course, our good friends Intero and Kickstar are casting on that channel. We'll also have Wilkie and Demo joining us throughout the day.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Waka making it through. He was
in the hospital.
Yeah, I believe it was heat stroke, I think is what I heard. But yeah, he did make it through okay on that, which is important because he's a very strong player for that team. obviously recovering okay because the team doing just fine so far. So that's good to hear that that worked out for them. Although, of course, that's just one map, and we have, had seen one map here for Vitality as well. So teams can go either way because obviously Liquid completely turning around on their map pick.
All right, well, we'll see if Liquid can put our 4th round. Now, usually you're expecting 4 rounds on the attack.
Yeah, this has definitely been very defensive-sided so far. And Liquid just playing it very smart. Their setups really playing against what Vitality are good at, taking advantage of small mistakes made by Vitality. So I feel like Vitality will probably adjust here and maybe be able to take this round, but so far they've been struggling because this is the first time we're seeing a repeat of a bomb site at least, so they have some chance. Because we saw, when that happened on Coastline, once they were able to get a read on how it was being played, they were able to play against it. So this might go 2 defensive or 2 attack rounds for Vitality, but slow and steady is the way they play.
Well, not surprising at all here. The only surprising thing is that Blackbeard didn't hold the angle for the entirety of the round. But Sexy Cake is playing from behind the mirror window, and Spark will open up an angle for himself. We'll have to deal with Sexy Cake as well. There's none of the 2 walls are reinforced here within the back, and the meeting hall hatch is open, so Sexy Cake can rotate down whenever he wants. He's just trying to buy time. Make sure that Vitality have as little time in their bank as possible. If he can get that around on the board, it will definitely help. Nesk trying to peek here against the Zofia. He'll do a lot of damage, but Bibu is still on 25 HP. And Zig still feeding information to Nesk.
Well, we're seeing the second mirror window being set up as well. They were definitely waiting on that, and they had plenty of time from the looks of it so far. They have yet to lose anyone on defense. Nesk taking a bit of damage, but as I say that, there goes Sexy Cake.
Yeah, unfortunately there, the mute really jamming up the reinforced wall on the side, or else we would have seen the Habana opening up the side of the wall to look into the meeting, peer into the side of the site, and really take down anybody that's holding off from the meeting hall itself, forcing the defenders out of that position. But it's already been done. Vitality getting 1 kill on the mute. That's 1 C4 as well that is expended. Cannot be used, really. And Bibu somehow still alive. Nesk on the site.
They have yet to open that hatch too because of those mute jammers.
Yeah, he's playing with the shotgun, and you see Team Liquid, of course, as you mentioned, they've set up 2 mute jammers, even 3, all of them here. Really being inside of Laundry. It's so difficult to deal with those jammers up close, but Zephyr somehow winning the fight against the shotgun right in his face. C4 being thrown out from Zig. It'll land onto Zephyr. A lot of damage done to Spark and Bibu. That's Zig with 1 more. A signature position for him. Spark will get 1. Bullet from the back though with 1 more. C4 unfortunately mistimed with 2 seconds left on the clock. Bullet trying to contest into the site. The Dokkaebi will go down. It's a 2v1 and not enough time. Who would have thunk it? Blackbeard cannot get the last shots, and that is Team Liquid to put 4 rounds on the board. Absolute destruction.
In my opinion, despite him dying halfway through the round, Sexy Cake won that round for them. The mute jams completely denying the hatch because you saw how many times they tried to push down those stairs to try and shoot those jammers, and every time Nesk just standing there with a shotgun. Eventually he died, but then they just countered that with a C4. It just seemed like time and time again they tried to push it, and just died for their efforts. They still were not able to get the mute jammer in the end. We are going to see Tower, though, interestingly, for the final defensive round here. You know what? They've already got 4 on the board for themselves, so they can risk this. Yeah, this, again, throw off Vitality as much as possible. Maybe even potentially tilt them a little bit going into the next part. We may see a tactical timeout here, though, coming out from one of the teams.
It is a tactical pause, of course. I'm trying to get information on who made that pause.
Nope, looks like they're not going to.
It was not? Okay. So there you go. We'll head into the round. We'll see if there's any 6th picks outside of this. But Zephyr bringing the Capitao as well. Europe has had a lot of love for Capitao over the past few months of Pro League. It's been rising up in the pick rate, that is for sure. Though IQ, IQ hasn't really been played much. I wonder why.
Yeah, not on this map. It definitely was a lot on Coastline, but yeah, not so much here. Which maybe part of that being Echo being banned to an extent, it might be helping out with that. But the inability to spot all these cameras that are being thrown out is definitely working against them a little bit. I mean, this is not a spawn peek heavy of a map, but it definitely still helps to be able to know where those cameras are being placed outside, because that intel we have seen it being used a bit. And it's definitely going to be used on this particular bomb site, for sure, because this is where you can really take advantage of it.
All right, well, we'll get to see how things are played as T3, or last level here in the tower, is extremely important for the hold.
I like the castle barricade as well to help with the flank on that.
Exactly. It'll force the Zofia to literally use all of her utility to come in. Now, maybe you'll see the Habana actually using her X-Kairos because you don't really need your X-Kairos. You're really going to be using 2 of them, though, to come in from the side, from the bedrooms, come in through the through attic, and then come into the side of the tower. Maybe using an extra X-Kairos onto the mirror window in the back. So that's the only other way that you'll really be seeing them. But anyways, Vitality will have to expend a lot of utility to go through this setup, and Castle is not really an operator you see played much on tower defense.
Like they're at least manually looking for the cameras. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be expecting it for this attack here. They do have the Thatcher to be able to help a little bit, but that's not going to do a lot against the particular operators being used by the defense, though. I don't think they're going to get a lot of mileage out of that.
I don't think Vitality were expecting the set at all.
No, they just like they were not expecting Kitchen. So Liquid, you know, having 3 coaches here working out for them in terms of catching the other team off guard.
Now look at all the holes that have been opened just so Liquid have support from players below.
Not to mention, if you eventually lose T3, you could fight, try and counter any kind of swinging because they have to come in through windows.
Yeah, a lot of teams, when they lose T3, they kind of forget about it and can't really find an angle on the attacker that is upstairs. So opening things up here in specific positions definitely does help out. Bibu still has 4 Gizmot mines in the back with his lifeline. We'll try to chuck them into Bullet. It's the first one. We'll get and in the C4, well, C4, the headshot coming in directly onto Bullet. He cannot use his C4 against the Blackbeard on the outside. Sexy Cake will take one as Bibu will refrag. Now he'll try to contest upstairs. Unfortunately, there's no ACOG to use in that position. He'll have to put himself in a disadvantage against the attacker.
Wow.
Oh boy, that is a sweet shot. Bibu going down.
The angle's being played by the defenders here. It's really working out. I mean, it is a 3v3. As I say that, of course, now at 3v2. So finally, attackers at some kind of advantage quickly traded back.
Yeah, this is C4 coming in from PSK. It's 2 players left alive. The Habana will try to go for the plant. As you'll see, the Capitao trying to help out on the crossfire. Now the Castle Barricade working against Team Liquid on the retake. PSK trying to get the shot as get some damage done, but it's not enough to push Bride out of position. They have the spot on the Habana, but no, Bride with his Bearing 9 will get 1 kill, pushing up against the second. And I'll get the second one as well. Bearing 9 overpowering the Vector in that position as, of course, Vector not enough bullets in the magazine to deal with the Habana playing in the side. And can't really get the angle. You still have the Capitao, those holding off on the opposite side. So pretty good here from Vitality. They at least squeeze out 1 round that is so needed.
Too little too late.
They were on the attack.
Yeah. We'll see, though. They are going to start on Kitchen for their first bomb site, so they're also looking to throw off Team Liquid as best they can, but it's a tough spot to be in, going down that many rounds on your defense. When we know, you know, or I mean, sorry, on their attack, but we know they are slow on that, so sometimes that backfires. Their defense tends to be pretty good as well. Nest's going to be the one actually pulling out the Finka this time. And Sexy Cake teasing the Thatcher, but switching off. Now, we'll see if they are prepared for this Kitchen because they are also not bringing in Thermite.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
See how this works out for them in terms of attacking the bomb site that they were so adequately defending before.
All right.
Attackers have located
I wonder how Vitality will play this one, and maybe it'll be a bit different than what Team Liquid had. Now, the big thing for Vitality is that Afad is bringing the Maestro. But, of course, Mira is available, so you're going to see Mira being played. Of course, the sandbagged windows here will be a great position for your Evil Eye, as you should be seeing the walls in the back reinforced. Nothing really out of the ordinary outside of that. I wonder if Zephyr brought an extendable shield to help with Bride. So that's been something that Bandits have been really afraid of if they want a bandit trick in the back.
I did see the deployable shield was right there. Yeah, absolutely, because you don't want that door to be your biggest weakness, because that's a pretty easy kill otherwise. Although I imagine with the Zofia, as long as you can take out the ADSs, of course you can just pop that shield, but still risky to do sometimes.
It's only half reinforced wall in the pantry. So meeting hall rotations are definitely going to be a thing.
Yeah, they want to be able to play far back there if they can to kind of push back in. But that is, yeah, that is definitely far back, as most of the action is going to be coming from the small tower side. You're not going to see a whole lot of people going for flanks. It's more about take showers, take small tower, try and push as best you can with a flank, and push in from there. Rarely do we see anyone spend a lot of time pushing from any other side of the map on this particular bomb site.
All right, see all the drones here in a conga line for Team Liquid. As they try to get information on how Vitality are set up on the site, where players will be. Now there's the big thing here, big difference between when Liquid were defending this site and Vitality is that Team Liquid were setting up the smoke in the showers. And in really the back of the showers.
I really like that play though.
Yep.
Just that shotgun angle and the fact that the Capitao had no angle on him, that worked out really well. He didn't get any kills necessarily from it, right? You know, in the early part of the round, but just that completely disincentivizes them from taking showers.
Yeah, you always have some in your mind that, oh, there's smoke in the showers and you can push us whenever. And you know, the wall wasn't reinforced here on the side in the hallway. Similar thing here. Sexy Cake, though, is just waiting around. There's not really much in the roam game that he really has to worry about or clear out in this round. But there is an Evil Eye in the back. And
not anymore.
There you go. It'll be sent back to Dust Bullet, though, coming in and catches one player off on the rotation. That's Spark now down on the Valkyrie. You lose out a C4, you lose out on an extra weapon that could have been powerful in that hallway contestation.
I like how he's using the reinforced barricaded door, or the barricaded door on the showers to actually work out to his advantage. Oh, Nesk unfortunately nades himself.
Oh, what is that? Sexy Cake will get one. He tries to flick onto the Bandit as Zig will get one. He turns around with a shield to try and eat as much of the damage as possible, and Liquid with a beautiful bit of execution onto the site. One by one, Vitality fall on a site that they've been very much well known for. And
well, this is one round away from going to map 3 at this point.
Yeah, this is match point. And Liquid, of course, on the big advantage on the attacking side. This can very much go for a 6-1. And which site will we go for? We're going to go for Laundry Supply Room. All right.
I mean, I appreciate them trying to surprise Liquid, but I feel like the defense is much better from the other team.
All right, so now Vitality, we'll see how they play out. Of course, we'll remind you that there is a tactical pause being played right now by Vitality. So in the 5-1, they really need to claw things back, as so you can tell on their faces the momentum from that first map win in overtime as 7-6 on Coastline has definitely faded away.
Yeah, it's definitely been a big problem. Well,
all right.
So let's see if they end up coming up with a good strategy. I mean, I don't think at this point they could change all. They still could try and switch bomb sites at the last second, but they have about 3 seconds left to do so.
All right. Bios making sure the entirety of the team know exactly what they have prepped. I'm not really good at lip reading at too many languages, so I can't really tell exactly what he's saying here. But yeah, we can make a skit out of it. It's like, at the end here, messieurs, if you win this 2-0, then we will go and I will buy you the biggest brioche there is in Paris.
Is that how it works?
Yes.
That's the real trophy. Well, they are going to resume here, it looks like, in just a second. So we'll see if there's any last-minute 6th picks as well. Now, I mean, this is the time to bring them out, right? After you talk to your coach, any kind of surprises you want to bring out?
All right. Well, we'll see Nesk switching up to the Finca, as this has not been something that he's really been doing. We've seen Zig playing that operator most of the time. Bibu, of course, on the castle with the 6th pick. So we'll get to see how they play it out. Now, usually when you have a castle on here, it's mostly, hey, we want to hold meeting for as long as possible. So it's not really something out of the ordinary. Team Liquid still bringing the blitz. Not surprised at all.
Yeah, let's see. Definitely 5 kills there, looking like the strongest member of the team, but so few kills among the rest of the team. It's definitely been, I mean, it's not just one off of time in these rounds and stuff like that. It's definitely been a case where it's just been Liquid killing and killing and killing and working out for them.
I mean, yeah, that's why you bring this lineup.
Yeah.
that's why you have these players on the team as well. You got tactical minds. You also have people that are great at support play. You have great people on the frag game as well. And you see even the castle barricade there is prepped just in case the attackers leave the castle barricade open, well, just there in the meeting hall. You can just peek through it, go for an attack. You might not be able to time it correctly to play against it on the attacking side.
It's smart because they're going to be focused on the one that's already open, and they're not necessarily going to be watching the cross because they're going to feel safe from that castle barricade. Pop that open, yeah, it's going to be a good angle.
Yeah, we'll see the Dokkaebi here being put into play as Nesk has already taken a few rounds actually off of his magazines, moving in to the side. Of course, it's more of a belt-fed machine gun, right? It's a belt.
It's a belt.
Technicalities, but the Blitz is going to try to clear up from the top stairs. It's a very standard thing. Latin America are very much used to this sort of play. A grenade from Nesk will be thrown in just in case there's any utility that is set up. Of course, the Legion is banned, so Bibu will just fall back, and everything is set for a fallback for Bibu. So now they don't really have to deal with anyone on the top stairs, Team Liquid, and they kind of waste an adrenaline surge because of it, but you're not really seeing all of the adrenaline surges used all the time.
3 is rarely to be used unless they're really like feeling desperate.
And they have line of sight on the staircase now just in case somebody peeks up. We'll have that as well in the case of an after plant position because it really does help. And there you go. You can see the holes that have been punched into the castle barricade. So it is only 1 or 2 punches away from being opened for potential riposte from the defenders of Team Liquid. Or the defenders to Vitality in the meantime.
About 1:15 left. This is not too ineffective of a push here, but the lack of kills is definitely not helping. They are worried about that castle barricade, and smartly so. Fortunately, do not win that fight somehow. Oh,
Sparks just holding off the angle, gets one, but Sexy Cake runs in and Bullet gets one more. Sexy Cake will force one back to Schafal. The Pulse. Now the angle that has just been opened up by Cabana will have an angle to look down. Now Sexy Cake is taking a lot of damage, and there is not a ton of time for a potential reset. Vitality not bringing the Mira in this attack, so Liquid are just setting up on the top. You see PSK as well right above here. Trying to chuck in his flashbangs. There's still an Evil Eye that is set right on top of the laundry machine. PSK going in for it. He's got a lot of health to try and eat up any damage, and there he was going to have to get back up. That smoke has done a lot of damage. Now, the Maestro might actually be the one that ends this entire round just off of opening up. Remember that there is infinite range really on the Evil Eyes with this one careful bullet. He has the RG-15 in hand as Zig comes in from the back, gets one. Bride up close with the shotgun. There's no diffuser, it's not been said just yet. They put it on the other side. Bride with one, canister right into Sexy Cake. His shotgun right in the face, and they're all down. Bride, what are you doing?
Operators, you are out of
oh my God, what is that?
What a defensive win. That smoke just clutching it out so hard. Just completely playing off their low health. The fact that they all had taken so much damage going into that meant
from his canister.
Yeah, he just did all that work just shotgunning because he didn't even have to care about range at that point.
Oh my.
Well played.
It's a beautiful 4K to end the round for the smoke. Vitality are feeling it now. This is what they needed. This is the thing that tries to bring them back in the running for map number 2. But it is still big advantage for Team Liquid on match point. 3 rounds remaining and 3 rounds needed for Vitality to tie it up and go to overtime. The only way they can finish it right then and there is in overtime. Team Liquid can definitely tie it up and take it to map number 3.
Well, going to tower here is going to be the interesting choice for that because they are still on that map point. So any play they do that's risky is potentially chancing going there. At least they won the first map though, so they can go into that, with a little more confidence here that they at least have, they're not going to lose if they lose this map. But nonetheless, it is risky going to tower here. They are trying to throw off Liquid as much as possible, but Liquid, I don't feel like they're using any kind of specialized lineups for most of the bomb sites. They're kind of playing what they want to play for the most part, and it seems to be working fairly well. That last round was a bit of a clutch in a position where I feel like Liquid should have won that, but just well played by Bride.
All right, we'll see how this round gets played here by Vitality. And Of course, Spark on the Valkyrie, trying to set up for the final black eye. There you go, just throwing it out. Make sure they have a beat on the spawns. Oddly enough, the windows are left. Oh, there we go. Okay. Spark is just gonna board them up and even have a couple taps into them. Just
yeah, you're definitely
use
gonna
them for a run out.
You're definitely gonna want to with all the cameras out there.
It's definitely a possibility here, and everything will get opened up usually as the attacker, trying to make that happen as well. Gonna have a beat on a couple of those windows where we've seen Team Liquid Zig being one of the players that does some clever acrobatics, to say the least, on the tower defense.
We'll see if they're able to push this in a timely manner here. It is pretty easy to section off most of the rest of the map in terms of at least most of the downstairs. It's more the dorms that you usually have to worry about whether or not they can push back in from that attic or not. If they open up a rotation, then you just have to take dorms. But Sexy Cake playing a very effective blitz, usually able to do that roam clear pretty fast. Zig actually saved him half his health and damage, unfortunately, but he's still going to be able to make some phone calls to make Sexy Cake's job a little bit easier, potentially, if he wants to use one early. They do know that there is Zafir playing in the kid's bedroom here. He has the one reinforcement that has the window on it. He can't see. They're pretty much playing against each other, but unfortunately, a C4 throw lands on top of the door frame. Could use that, though, if the blitz pushes in on him. Could trigger it just the right moment. Looks like that might have cleared it. I'm not sure if that... Yep, that looks like a C4 cleared, and that is going to be an easy kill.
Oh, no! He gets two, but Nesk will trade it out against Sexy Cake, I guess. As the wall, though, is being reinforced, Nesk is unable to get the shot on the player behind it. And Team Liquid still with a big advantage. They pop all the remote mines that have been set up by the Ella here in the back. It's a pretty big hit here, and one would wonder, what if Nesk had not gotten the shot?
You gotta trust your teammates. You gotta trust Sexy Cake can do it. Either way, though, the kill was made, and Nesk didn't lose any health, so it's not the worst position to be in. They got two important players down already, and a C4 is off the board, so not a bad start. Still 50 seconds left to make this push, and they have the one-man advantage. So they just have to start taking control of Meeting Hall and get ready for this.
Now, a big part of the attack that we used to mention is taking control of the bottom. And that's exactly what Zig is going to try to do. Just come in, make sure the hallway is held by them. Vitality don't have enough manpower to really put a lot of people to contest it. They will only have Spark here to hold off from the stairs, as they can't have him too far away from the site, given the 4v3 situation. They'll spot both players here in the meeting hall, one by the rear stage, and Spark will get one, unfortunately, for Vitality. Player, the Bandit, is down on the floor. Nesk will finish off Bride, but there's 12 seconds left on the clock. The plant needs to happen here. And Nesk will try to come in. The C4 will get thrown in, but will not connect. He sprays into the side of the wall. Nesk will get one, as Hibana in the back will try to get the diffuser down, and they call into Spark. Unfortunately, they know exactly where he's in. The flick to finish it all off. Team Liquid, the great final round attack. It got very close at the end with a limited time, but it started off pretty hectically, to say the least. Team Liquid, though, 6-2 win on map number 2 after dropping map 1 Coastline in a 7-6. Means that here they tie it up 1-1 against Vitality in our first matchup of the Paris Major, at least in our group stage. Yeah, from that, we head to map number 3.
Now that should be interesting. I mean, it's definitely been back and forth. I mean, Coastline was Vitality's pick, and that went down to the very final round, whereas we saw a very different Liquid on Oregon, 6-2, very dominant. So it's going to depend on whether or not Vitality have some very good strats for Bank, because so far, just off of round count, Liquid definitely dominating.
Yeah, and this is the thing. To choose the starting side on map number 3, it all depends on the team that has the most rounds won throughout the first 2. So this is why Team Liquid will have the advantage in picking which side they start off on. And, you know, Vitality tried their best in here, and unfortunately they did not fare as well as they did on Coastline.
Sexy Cake was definitely a big part of that. I mean, just some of the plays that he made, we saw quite a few of them there. Even right here, unfortunately it didn't work out for him, but this was a good attempted defense there. Zig trying to push up at the last second didn't work out for him either, but the plays here on Laundry especially, fantastic, but we got to see a lot of good bomb sites. This tower especially was very interesting down to the wire. Unfortunately, could not win that gunfight.
For me, the highlight of this entire game really has been the clutch. That smoke clutch downstairs in the Laundry. Absolutely beautiful. The whole round. was in the advantage here.
There it is.
There you go. And just walked on. Let's see it again here. The smoke already thrown in the back. The Zofia running right into him. And the last 2 players are down and taken out. So, honestly, this is pretty darn impressive plays from Vitality. These are, at least on map 2, a lot of individual plays. Unfortunately, individual plays rarely will win you a whole match, a whole map.
Game for sure.
Yeah. So this means that Team Liquid take map number 2. Again, to tie up the series, we'll be heading to map number 3, Bank, in just a bit. But before that, as usual, we are going to take a 5-minute break. From then on, we'll be right back on this stream to continue on. Remind you that Norengu took that first map against Obey Alliance and a 6-4 on border. So we'll keep you updated with the entirety of our matches here as we go through the day. So don't go away too far. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Team Liquid versus Vitality 1-1. ladies and gentlemen, to the Paris Major. We're still in the group stages here. Of course, I'm Simon Medic Finch. With me is Devin Emzo Becker. I just witnessed a pretty exciting series between Vitality and Team Liquid, and it is not over just yet. We head into map 3 after Vitality won map number 1. It was a 7-6 scoreline on Coastline.
Yep.
Then we head to map 2 in Oregon. It was a 6-2 win. Ooh, at the end of it, beautiful bit of play from Liquid, even though Vitality had a couple pretty good rounds. Now we head to the third one. I'll remind you at the same time that Norangu is playing against Obey Alliance on Stream B with Intero and Kix. So if you'd like to watch that game, of course, live on twitch.tv/Rainbow6Bravo. That's exactly as written here. And then BRAVO. It is tied 1-1 right now, as it was a 6-4 scoreline on map number 1, and it's a 6-4 scoreline that was for Norangu, and 6-4 on map number 2 for Obey. So it's definitely a very tight game.
Already, like both matches going on. It's so good. This is going to be a long 2 days, but a fantastic 2 days in terms of matches so far. Because, as we said before, this is the best of the best teams. This is not just like, oh, we'll throw a bunch of random teams in here. This is definitely going to be a lot of ties.
This is the cream of the crop, and nobody does it better. It's literally the best team from every single region, the best squads that we have to offer, especially quite a few European teams.
Yeah, it's always European dominated in terms of these events, where when it's open to more than just 2 teams, you're going to see a lot of European teams. It's just the way it's been.
This is the thing. They're already here. They're already playing their matches. First matches, they're super tight. The European giants, if you will, of Vitality have definitely shown their strength, but they have to make it in map number 3. We'll head into Bank now. Vitality versus Team Liquid. We'll start off the ban phase.
And to remind you, Bank is one that Liquid has not played during the Pro League season so far, the first half, whereas Vitality have played it twice, so they definitely have shown some stuff. It's up to them to adapt on it. Vitality going to be on defense for the first time as they had started on attack the last 2 maps. So they're going to have first ban there, and that's going to be Lion.
So to remind you as well at how things work when it comes to who picks what on map number 3, the team that has won the most rounds in map 1 and 2 in total, they get to choose their starting side. And Team Liquid is starting off on the attack here. They do have something planned. The Ying Bang banned out, as Team Liquid will have the second ban available. And I wonder who's going to be. There you go.
Well, that's saving Vitality some work, I guess.
Okay. Maybe to ease their way with the shield, I guess. Okay. Fair enough.
We'll see. It's definitely going to be something that that's going to leave Vitality with some available bans here.
Do they ban Pulse? Do they ban Mira? You see they're thinking about it. They're not really sure what to go for.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options here that aren't going to be, I mean, not any must picks, but Vigil actually getting banned out here again.
They banned him out of Coastline, if I remember correctly.
It was, it was Vitality that did it, yeah. It's interesting, because it's an operator that we've seen Liquid ban in the past, but not necessarily Vitality, at least on those maps, but either way. We'll see how they do on here. They're going to start CEO. Should be interesting. It's always a fun first bomb site.
It requires a lot of ACOG play. And Mira makes it a lot easier to play because you can hold the hallway.
Yeah.
And also, anybody pushing in from the main stairs has a bit extra work to do. So, this can definitely work out for Vitality. Sexy Cake switching around to the Jackal. Not really surprising. And, of course, the Castle. This is basically switching away the Castle on 6-pick is to trick their opponents, because Liquid switched to the Jackal because they're like, okay, they don't have a castle, so maybe with their lineup with the Maestro plus the Mira, they're going to be playing downstairs in CCTV.
That's what you would expect.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect with the operator lineup. Here, it's just a mind game. Bride goes in for the castle, and it's usually you'll see more of a rook or a dog or something like that being played on the top floor. So it really does throw Team Liquid to the side. They only have the one hard destructor of PSK, as really Hibana has not been banned.
And they only have one ACOG. In this case, it's going to be Maestros. So that should be interesting. I mean, like you're talking about, an ACOG on a heavy is usually part of the defense, whether it be a rook or a dock. But in this case, now that Maestro's available, it's made things a little more interesting. What I'm wondering is if we're going to see any kind of impact nade denial on the walls, for example, because they are bringing a Thermite and not a Hibana. So if they try and come from the Square Skylight side, they're pretty much going to be open to getting denied by that. And they have the Mirror Window to watch on that side as well. So could be some denial from at least the castle if he's still keeping his impacts.
All right, Zig does have a drone inside of the site, so he's going to go up and try to use the there we go. Just, what do you call these?
Just, I don't know, I guess the upper windows into the lobby.
Yeah, good point.
There's a lot of them though, so yeah, I don't know if there's even really a call out necessarily for the windows because there's just so many to be, even specific would be difficult. The front windows. ATM windows, I guess.
All right, so let's check in for a second. Nobody really found there at the end. So the glass is not banned. We might be seeing glass play from Vitality once they get to the attack.
Yeah, Liquid doesn't seem to really care too much for playing glass these days.
Now, Jackal has received a pretty substantial buff recently. He can now scan with his Inox, his footprint tracker, at 8 meters instead of the 5, which means you can do it from a top floor down to the floor below you. So, yeah, that actually helps a lot with hunting roamers. Unfortunately for Team Liquid, Vitality are kind of just sticking on the site. Oh, that's a decent chunk of damage, though, done to Rafal. You really don't want to lose the Maestro and really your only ACOG on the team early on.
Not to mention the ability to control those cameras could be vital down when it comes to the push. So I like the deployable shield there helping as well, but Bibu, nice kill on the bullet, and that means some soft destructor down.
It's just on the floor here. I guess he got the kill on the player repelling on the outside. So Zofia. Rafal is on the floor, though, so they can pick him up. But they'll have to Zig should be able to run up and get the kill here. Maybe he'll get
just bait it.
Use a call.
Yeah, good time to use a call.
They're trying to use the bait here, and there you go. It works out fine. Sexy Cake will get the kill on the Maestro, but Bibu is still alive. Takes half damage. Sexy Cake trying to find the angle in the back on the mirror window. Bibu gets a second one, though. Yes, smoke grenades thrown into the side as Bidea will get one. He finds the second headshot onto Sexy Cake as well. And now he'll only have to deal with PSK. No ACOGs required for the defense here of Vitality as Spark gets the last one. Impressive execution from Vitality.
Very strong. I like that castle of Brede just hiding right around that corner, just waiting patiently, leaned to the right-hand side so he'd be even less visible as soon as he got the time. But it wasn't the first kill that was impressive, it was the second one, whipping right around to that window that leads into the office. That was just a nice play in terms of getting that second kill, following it up. So, as you said, a good execution by Vitality. So, seeming like they're not going to be on tilt for losing the last map, which is good. You don't want to go into this with that sort of mentality. And Sexy Cake going to be bringing out the Blitz probably again here. Might 6 pick off of it, but probably not. He's been so effective on it. I would never say there's a round where I was like, well, he probably should have played something else. It's been very effective.
Yeah, no matter what. If you get him in melee, and that works out well for him.
Well, he's getting hip fire kills even from a distance.
Headshots.
Yeah.
Oh, now they force up the lesion from...
No, as I stated, of course.
He switches away to Capital.
Thanks, Sexy Cake. Thanks.
But really, the Legion is still a good operator to have. He switched over to a Jackal, so it'll help Team Liquid. I think they're really afraid of Vitality roaming around the map, and this can help them take down Bride or Spark playing around it. Now, Bibu, what usually you'll see the Legion do is holding off in the servers, but we also see a lot of play from Ella on those main stairs coming into the servers as you just put a shield in front of her, and suddenly she becomes basically a railgun.
It's that speed and fire rate that just, it's hard to counter. We'll see though.
Speed, violence, and momentum.
Yeah. They also have the Legion Mines as well that can help on delaying that push a little bit more too if they have to fall off of it. Throw some on the stairs. Now, we rarely see a lot of significant pushes from the sewers these days though. In terms of pushing the servers, it's more about those server stairs are opening the hatch, which is already pre-opened by the defense as you see Spark rotate down that right now. Bibu might actually stick that spot there in Tellers on the Legion, which would be interesting to see. I'm still not a fan of a roaming Legion just because I've rarely seen it be effective. So hopefully he can at least be somewhat effective on that particular area. But it looks like they could actually go for a sewer push there potentially, although spotting that's not going to help with that.
See the Jackal continuing in on the drone and trying to find maybe somebody playing around the archives and or the tellers, and there you go. She will get the spot on the Legion. Unfortunately loses the drone, but gives information that there is a player in the back. So I wonder where Bibu will go here. Sexy Cage just waiting around potential bait against Bibu's Legion, who's just watching the entry from the beepers, and nobody will be there. Bibu just chucking in an extra goo mine to be sure, and should be able to fall back pretty easily through the archives. No! He got shot on the side from Sexy Cake! And Team Liquid the advantage early on here. It's a big pick over on the Legion. Spark, as you mentioned, holding off the main stairs down into servers with that Ella.
Definitely a good start for them. Good use of that Jackal as well. Now he's going to be able to get some good map control here, pushing on up. But there's still more roamers to deal with. Unfortunately, can't find the angle. Zephyr finds it instead.
The mirror. What is the mirror? What is the mirror doing up here?
Winning apparently. There's Jay following it up.
That's the second one. It's 2 kills going the way now of Vitality after losing the Legion. It's a big pick over on the Zofia and the Jackal. Now, Zig has not been able to use his calls really at all. He still has both of them in hand. And this is a prompt for Liquid. We need to push Vault.
Yeah, definitely setting up for this Vault drop.
They don't have enough manpower to go for any sort of technical play. They still have the Havana, of course, but they're going to use that to open up the hatches. Now, the thing is with the Vault drop and full Vault push is that it requires a lot of good timing and positioning on your grenades to make it work.
Yeah, definitely going to be depending on Nesk as well to play very aggressively if he drops. We're taking advantage of the roamers upstairs by just ignoring them here. Almost catches someone through the barbed wire. Unfortunately, fell on top of it.
Yeah, he fought somehow not a headshot here. That's Bride to get the kill. C4 being thrown out right into the face of PSK as Bride finishes him off. Vitality coming back from the loss of the Legion early on in the round and just full control of the site, realizing that their opponents will be pushing in from the garage. Nobody really used any of the hatches that were opened up in the back by the Habana. And Vitality,
more of a trick at that point.
Yeah, they just converge on the one position, and Vitality, very easy for them to just literally spray their magazines into the one entryway.
Good attempt, but yeah, that really didn't work out in the end. It was an unfortunate series of deaths early on that probably should have been won. I mean, it started off good with Sexy Cake with that first kill, but then once they started getting traded back, they thought, oh, let's just push downstairs and ignore these roamers, and that just did not work for them at all. We'll see, though, as they go to their third bomb site of Tellers. Vitality looking like the way Liquid did on their defense on Oregon here so far. This has definitely been the map. As I said earlier, Liquid have not shown playing this map during the season, and maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe this is just not their best map. A little 6-pick over to Sledge there should be interesting. We'll see how Sexy Cake plays that. We've always talked about before how Sexy Cake is the most flexible player on the team, and you see him always being the one kind of do these little 6-pick switches and play some different roles. Surprising to see him not be the one, for example, on Finka, but nonetheless, he is one of the most valuable, most flexible players. You see him with the 2 kills there, but Bride has been having a day. It's been so good for him today.
That all rhymed.
It's a Bride. It's just one for him.
We can't say bidet at the end of this. Doesn't
No,
work
not
out
a
well.
bidet.
But the thing is that Vitality, I mean, this is why I wouldn't see a Finka. I mean, you're pushing in here most of your sites on, most if not all of your sites really on bank, kind of push you into a smoke's line of sight. Gas canisters really do quite a bit of damage to you. I'm not sure how and where the Finka would be used well, but you need some soft destruction for here. Team Liquid are very much infamous for running 3 soft breachers on their squad, and you know what? It's pretty good when you know you're going to be attacking against Tellers, because Vitality have already won 2 sites early on. I don't think Vitality are going to go for open area anytime soon.
No, probably not. I mean, we could see one of the teams try it, but it's so bad.
Interesting thing, we haven't seen Buck at all this series.
Not a single Buck play. I mean, there's definitely some good Buck players on these teams, but they just have decided it's just not necessary. It's been interesting. There hasn't been any changes to Buck in a while either, so I imagine we'll see some of it throughout the day, but it is surprising that so far, none. Well, we'll see though. Like you said, the 3 soft destructors means they can open up quite a bit of the floor if they need to. They have some utility to do so. They are going to have to fight 2 members of Vitality in CEO, though. We're set up very well. They've got cameras outside. Get some good stuns going on there.
Yeah, he'll stun himself here, Liquid, but it's or bullet from Liquid, so it doesn't really matter too much as Zofia is not too affected by her mines. Similar thing to Ella. There we go. The fact that they instantly pop means that bullet knows that there's a player playing extremely close up to him. Now this is why he's doing it, because he wants Sexy Kate to come in from the side to help out. Unfortunately, you saw the Valkyrie moving in from the back, as Bibu will get the kill on Bullet, ending this one for himself. Ness moving in from the side in the walkway. He's going to try to get the kill in the CEO, and there we go. It's 2 kills for Team Liquid to finally put the advantage in their hands. They're trying to contest his opponents. He actually finds a headshot on Sexy Cake. Unfortunately for him, Nesk is still in the back, and he'll find the angle from Janitor. It's now a 2 versus 3. Fatality gonna check the hatches. Bibu will have to fall back, but the call will come in from Zig. Finally, he'll have to move in. So oddly enough, the Dokkaebi hasn't really been playing too aggressively.
No, I mean Zig isn't necessarily the most aggressive player. He tends to play a lot more intel ops, which is he plays a lot of supporting on his team, so it's not a huge surprise. But I do think it might be better to put a more aggressive player on it, because that is a role you can play very aggressive on in terms of roam clear because of the speed of that SMG. Now
Bibu still has an armor panel on him, but unfortunately he can't just run up to the doorway and set it up now. Maybe would have been able to set it up behind them in the archives. There you go. Flashes are going to get thrown in by Nest. And PSK, they'll have to run through the smoke. Zig will get one. Hunting Rafale in the second one as well, going the way of Zig.
Well, after we say he's not playing super aggressive, definitely paid off right there.
There you go. All he's got to do is just use the unlimited ammunition of the SMG-12 to get the kill.
It's quite the gun. Very useful on those aggressive pushes right there, assuming you maintain that, you know, we were just talking about the ammo control. Choose your shots wisely. The recoil can get a little nutty on that gun, but if you tap fire it, it's pretty effective. We will see open area after all, though. Assuming they stick on that, should be interesting. They definitely don't have to play that. They could go back to CEO. So interesting choice. And we're going to see the first Alibi as well as the first Twitch. So a few operators that we just had not seen yet today.
Yeah, it was picked once, but it was 6 picked off. So I think 6K is going to do it again. There we go. There we go.
Yep, nope.
Predicted.
Predictable. We'll see if it doesn't look like Bibu's going to switch. Nope, as I say that, of course, he is. Thank you for right on cue. Between one Italian operator to another. Should be effective, though. Nope, Sexy Cake switching off again. Back to that sledge. Changed his mind at the last second.
Yeah, it's Team Liquid really like putting a lot of soft destruction on their team, and you see, Zofia is for a lot of people one of the most effective soft destructors. You combo with the Ash, that's 2 of the fastest and most effective ones. Then it brings Sexy Cake, Sledge, also has grenades. Definitely not something that you can really keep away. But I'd like to see how this side is defended here. It's not your typical position to be.
Yeah. We'll see if this Maestro factors in as well from Bibu. As those Evil Eyes could definitely help with that big, wide open area they have. They're also going to help with the upstairs here. You see them sneaking one in to kind of help control that hallway in the entrance there from stock. Says the second one there as well. Now that's going to be one to try and stop the bottom from opening up the hatch if they go for that, because you're not necessarily going to be looking in that corner. So if he times it right, he could try and shoot off those 6 discs. Unfortunately, with a hatch, though, even a single disc left alive is enough to open it.
Yeah.
So that is the difficult part. If it was a wall, you know, maybe you deny at least most of the wall, if not all of it. But yeah, this is definitely going to be timing being the real issue. But that means if that's what they're planning to do, then they're going to have to get a call when they're somewhere near that, when they've pushed in from stock or have control of the hallway, so he knows to switch on his cams then. Because he doesn't want to stay on the cams the whole time. He wants to be able to play as ACOG as well, I imagine.
You can definitely tell that Team Liquid were not really expecting open area to be played by Vitality here.
For good reason.
Obviously. Very good one. So now Team Liquid are just scouting around, making sure that there's no many ruses that are being set up by Vitality. Now, a big thing about defending open area is that if you don't have a Mira, I mean, she's available to be picked here, but Vitality are not going for her. You kind of need to have some sort of hold on the top stairs. You basically defend with most of your players outside of the site and rely on your knowledge to rotate back onto it. Taking control of archives, taking control of Teller's office, very important as well for the attackers.
We'll see if they can manage to get that Teller's control. It's a slow push in there, but they are droning very, very carefully. You see them making sure that everything they see that's suspicious, like a hatch being open or a wall being rotated, is definitely something that they're using to try and figure out what they need to do for this attack, but it is a very careful attack. That's what I like to see from Liquid here.
And we could see late reinforcements as well coming up in the office and open area. So
see if they spot that the Maestro camps. Setting up 2 Maestro camps close to each other is kind of a nice decoy, because they're going to see the one on the wall and then be less suspicious and less looking for the one that's on the actual floor. But both those can be easily taken out by the sledgehammer, not even having to waste Zophia's utility. We'll see if they spot it. But he's actually going to be busy sledging the CEO floor here, which of course is what he was brought for, essentially.
Just to have a line of sight into archives to deal with any players playing down there or trying to rotate back onto the site. And Zig lands the first one on to Zephyr. So that's now the castle eliminated from the round. Just down on the floor. There you go, in the office. And Nesk will just come on in. Rafal will get one, though, onto Sexy Cake. Turns into a 4v4, and as he's tapping away at the barbed wire, it's Fride that finished him off. So now, advantage for Vitality with an extra one from Rafal. The Bandit going ham here with Bullet and PSK, last 2 alive. Bullet looking down from the trading hallway here in the hatch. Try to contest against the Valkyrie. Unfortunately, can't really deal with that. And Bullet will get one onto Rafal. It's a 2v3, and because of that, see the Valkyrie coming up to get the kill. 5 seconds left on the clock. Bullet has already gotten one onto Hide. Is there still one on site to contest him? Yes, there is! Bibu picks up with the Maestro and lands the last kill.
3-1 here. Vitality definitely doing quite well on this map. A lot of it's just coming down. They have a lot better angles. They have a lot better map control. When they're holding an area, they're holding at very effective angles. They're seeming to counter Liquid's pushes. The droning from Liquid isn't really helping them a lot on these attacks. They're not, because we're seeing a lot of long angles being played and a lot of smart angles, to where when Liquid try and push, it's not like, oh, there was someone around the corner that we didn't get caught by, although that did happen at least once. It's more just that the smart angles being played by Vitality are Liquid pushing into them time and time again, because they see the rooms clear from the droning, so they push in, and it's just the setup is there every time from Vitality. But Montaigne here...
No, I think it's going to be Monty and Blitz.
That could be a 6 pick off, though, just teasing it, because you usually don't want to reveal a Montaigne.
Yeah, there we go. This makes a lot of sense. Whoa. The Blitz is the shield that's going to push from the red hallway. So you need the Habana for this. There's no way it can work with any with just the Thermite. You need to open up all the hatches, especially the one open area and an office in open area. So once those are opened, you'll have the Blitz trying to push in from the hatch to go in through the red stairs in the back, deal with the smoke, deal with anybody that's playing in the back there. And once that's done, you already have the Monty inside, so he can just push in and go for a plant himself. Though we've seen a few combos here and there. The Zofia will be a good combo, as well as Zig's Zig on the Dokkaebi to help out with the calls, giving information to all the players, but especially those shields, especially the shield of Sexy Cake here on the Blitz. So it's got to be very interesting to see how this is set up. Rafal has already set up his evil eyes. As you know, it's like an echo. You always have one yokai somehow to watch the back of the garage, just in case.
Well, Brede on the Legion is definitely going to be extra important this round, and he's going to need to stay alive as long as possible. Along with the Spark as well, just having those Grismont mines is definitely going to make it so it's a little bit harder to push some of those spots, because you're going to get hit by those stuns. But that's never seemed to affect Sexy Cake too much. I feel like he's still effective. He's actually going for a sewer push. It's a little bit of a long jog here for him, but he's going to get on over there with Nesk's support. They're just going to take from the sewers here. So, not sure why.
It doesn't want to ruin the sneakers, I guess. They're not going to push 2 shields right now.
Yeah, that seems a little weird. This is a little bit of a late change to what they're going to do.
I think he's going to run around to garage now.
That would make
either
more
from
sense.
garage or contest from open area.
It looked like they were setting up an Evil Eye at the tip of garage as well, so they might actually spot him coming in, but it looks like he's going to rotate around instead. So they're definitely making some change-ups based off the intel they're getting. They know that garage is definitely being contested, so Zig's going to have a little trouble fighting this. He's going to have to time it right, because those cars really can work out for the defenders.
Yeah, I see playing in the back here, I believe it's the Maestro. There you go. You can see those boots. You can see the outline. So Rafal just looking in. The one angle that it can get pushed by, and Zig knows where he's at, but he doesn't know the angle that he's holding. And you kind of predict that this is really the only position that he can get pushed from.
Gonna watch his little dance show while the rest of the shields do their job here, pushing onto servers, but they have yet to take the servers, and it's still 1:30. So they need to they haven't even cleared the barbed wire to get in. Sexy Cake already taking damage as well. This is not looking like an effective push from Liquid.
Move out. Gizmot's thrown in from Bullet, as there we go. They'll even tag PSK out of his utility, and Nest just finds the shot on Spark. All right, This still works well. Gonna push in the second shield as well from the main stairs, trying to deal with the player in the back of the servers. That's Payday with the Legion. Is there gonna be a smoke push thrown in from the Monty? No, it's just Sexy Cake moving in from the side. There's so many angles that the Legion has to watch out for. He's burning so much time right here. There you go. Finally, Nesk will get the kill. But look at that. Only 44 seconds left on the clock. The call will come in and force the Maestro out of position from the garage. And this is an easy position now for...
Wow.
Get it. Rafal finds the headshot onto Zig. It turns it into a 4v3. But now the shields will very much come into play. However, there has not been enough time to trade off as many of these smokes as possible. To use utility to push Bibu away. He will be the big linchpin for Vitality in this round. They need this fourth one to really put themselves up ahead. Gas canister thrown into the back. Sexy Cake is slow, low on health. 5 seconds left on the clock, and Diffuser is not set just yet. The Monty will go down to Bibu. He gets the second one. No, it's Bullet. We'll get one, and there you go. Not enough time for the defenders to plant as he downs the Habana. Doesn't finish her off. That is more than enough. Just spraying through off of the information of the hatch of the drop. And that is Vitality with 4-1 against the reigning champions of Pro League on Bank.
Looking very good for them on this map. And as I said earlier, this is one Liquid have yet to show before during Pro League. Whereas in this case, Vitality have shown it twice, and they've done a very good job on it, although they didn't win it every time. They've definitely learned a lot. Brede actually maybe bringing the first buck here, as we see, potentially. As well, and then Spark going to bring that Jackal. Of course, this is Jackal's map. And then there's Glaz. Zafir going to bring it, which is can be very effective on this map just because the way you can use it from those long angles from those windows, especially if you're attacking CEO. In this case, they're going to be going for lockers first. So we'll see how this goes down. But Liquid really need a comeback here because this could be them just getting knocked out immediately. There's no losers bracket here to come back from. They're just done, and they just get to watch after this. Unless that's incorrect. There's a loser bracket? Oh, no, sorry. I'm thinking of the group stage, duh. Once it gets to the playoffs, there's no losers bracket.
Yes. Here in the group stage, Liquid will have the opportunity to go through again. Unfortunately, if they lose this out, the only way they can get out of Group A is through the second spot.
Yeah.
There's no other way. We might see, potential Vitality Liquid rematch. We might see Vitality just walking out on day 2 with a victory and have day 3 to relax. Basically, day 3 and day 4 really to relax before we get into the playoffs. So, really, Vitality are looking really, really good here.
Yeah. And
that was on the defense. Now, it's not just because they played CCTV. It's because they won open area. They won CEO even. They had no problem playing really whatever site that they were on. So Team Liquid here have quite a bit of ground to recover.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't see that kind of comeback from Vitality on last map, so definitely when you're down like this, you kind of tend to stay down against teams like this, but at least the side switch gives them an opportunity to play a little bit differently. However, Vitality are very strong on their attacks, as we know, very methodical, and the way they seem to know the angles and the ways to play for map control on this particular map, I'm definitely thinking Liquid might not make it through this. Sexy Cake going to be playing that Pulse again, something that we talked about. Zig very effective on, so this should be interesting to see how well he's going to be playing on that. We did see him last time playing with Barbed Wire instead of C4, which was a bit of an odd choice. Zig unfortunately going to get tracked here by Spark.
We'll see, the unfortunate thing here for Liquid is that they've had a strong showing in map 2, but Vitality definitely have their number in our third map here on Bank. But we'll see how Sexy Cake runs this one here. Is this year 1? Is that a shotgun on a Pulse?
Well, he's definitely trying to play it for a close tunnel play here. Again, he brings the Barbed Wire instead of C4 as well, which is an odd choice because C4 is so effective, especially on this bomb site. Seems like a strange choice. Hatch going to get open, though. That's going to put some pressure on him and servers. So he's going to have to potentially rotate or just play it really aggressive.
There you go. Finally, we see the buck played. So it's good.
It's good.
Good to see the buck.
Not the best bomb site for him to attack, but
unfortunately, but you do get the 2 frag grenades, so there's quite a bit to be done. You have to burn the ADSs first, though, from Bullet. But after that, it is a lot of damage that is possibly done here. Vitality moving in. they can just open up one hole here for the glass, just so they can watch through it. So from the servers, they'll have a long angle to go through. Though Sexy Cake is still in the back of the vault. He's getting information on his opponents. He can use the C4 whenever needed. It can relay it to Nesk. Usually it's the Mira that'll throw it first, and then it'll be the Pulse for
well, in this case, he's only got the barbed wire, so they're going to have to make sure that that Mira one counts.
I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah. It's a mystery. But either way, maybe that barbed wire will help.
We'll see how we crack this one, Scoob. So Bibu still has one more Gajmot to throw into the back for the red hallway, and there we go. Oh no, it gets tagged up by the ADS. That was the last burn that they needed. Rafal will have to run in. Vitality with 18 seconds. What is that? An actual time push. Nimira has all information against Bride, as the glass in the back doesn't really have a line of sight. Bride somehow getting the kill, as they're using Bibu for bait. He gets the kill, but no, Nesk, one more on to Bride. It's a 3v3. Bibu low on health. Spark watching the hatch from above. His bullet comes in from the server. The glass is watching in, so Zephyr just checking for the rotations. Bullet rotating in from the side. He might be able to push from the open area hatch, but Spark will get one more onto Nesk. His bullet will refrag Bibu in the back as well. The open area. Sexy Cake, unfortunately, not the best position to have that shotgun in hand. He'll try to run in against his opponent on the glass, and Zephyr will get the shot. Vitality on map at match point. 5-1.
Looking very good to take this home there. That was a nice initial attack. It seemed like their setup that wasn't even prepared for that bomb site. That seemed like a setup more to attack potentially CEO upstairs or even a teller's push. But they certainly made it work. Got a little scrappy towards the end there, but overall that was a good push from Vitality and a nice push in from Rafael, taking advantage of the smoke, just running through the toxic gas right into his own team's smoke to just hide and go for the plant there in the corner and actually making it work. So we're going for a short tactical timeout here from Liquid. They are one round potentially away from being done here.
Need it here.
Yeah, now's the time to use it.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see Sensi putting his entire team really on mark. It's a bit odd to see Liquid down in this fashion, but they have quite a bit of work to do. As this was something that really Vitality. This is exactly the same position that Vitality was in on map 2 Oregon.
Yeah. Well, it was a situation where Vitality didn't come back from, and Liquid aren't looking like they're going to be able to either. It's not like a 5-2, it's a 5-1. Yeah. This is looking really...
It's one less.
Yeah, it's one less. That's exactly... Good math. Well, we'll see how this goes, though. They're not looking like having fun. This is where it's the stress you see on their faces. We talked before about their Atlantic City win and how them having fun was an important part of it, just playing their game, doing their thing. The fact that I don't see fun on their faces here makes me think Vitality might close this up now. Yep. They're going to try lockers one more time. Sexy Cake, I would hope, going to switch off of that barbed wire and shotgun, but you never know. Could even pick off the operator. Spark actually teasing the Jackal, but not actually sticking it.
I'll remind you that the tactical timeouts that are called by the players or by their coach is a 1-minute timeout, and both teams can talk in that time. So Vitality have been able to talk to one another.
How do we finish this now? So we can take a break for the rest of the day.
And this is the thing. They win now, they're playing tomorrow. Yeah. So Vitality just basically chill in the meantime, and they prepare against their opponents. They go back, they have their coaching staff, analysis, everything. They watch all the other games and make sure that they're ready for any potential opponent tomorrow, because they'll have to face against the winner of Norengo versus Obey Alliance.
Well, looks like Vitality going to bring the same attacker lineup, and it's going to be the same bomb site. So, like I said, it doesn't necessarily seem like the best operator lineup for attacking this bomb site, but they're bringing double hard breachers this time. They're really going to give themselves some flexibility. And, I mean, it worked last round in terms of their attack working out, so we'll see, though. They're going to have to be a little bit smarter in terms of how they counter that push into the actual CCTV room, because the fact that they're able to just run in and plant in the smoke was definitely not the situation you want to be in. They don't have anything to see through smoke is the problem. The defenders aren't bringing a Maestro, they aren't bringing any bulletproof cameras as far as we can tell. They're not doing anything that's given them the ability to counter a smoke push. Not to mention one less C4 coming out of Pulse, because Pulse is the one who could potentially spot them in the room, which I'm gonna fault Sexy Cake for not catching that plant going down in terms of...
Does he have a C4 now?
Well, either way, he should have still been able to spot it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I hope he has a C4. There we go.
Oh, but he's got an M1014.
Yeah, the shotgun was the least of the problems compared to the C4.
We could have only gotten one out of those two.
Yeah. The C4, though, that was the much more important one, especially against the smoke push.
All right, well, the skylight hatch is going to be opened up. You see utilities are actually set up by the server room stairs, but there's nobody in here. And I think there was an ADS as well that was on the top of the stairs. So kind of wasted material, I guess.
Well, we'll see. They are going to be able to push that server stairs and take it fairly fast. That was a good push. Sexy Cake, of course, going to spot them being in the room as he's working that whole gold vault, but doesn't do anything about it.
They're wasting no time in this.
No, they're just like, hey, let's take control, because they're not countering it. They don't have like someone playing behind those server stack or anything like that. They're going to be able to open up that wall for the glass angle to fight from there, which is exactly what you want to do when you're playing with the glass down there. Sparking up the hatches. Thermite did his job. They've got all the utility to win this now.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Because not a single hard breacher was taken out in this matchup, you're going to bring both of them.
Did you see them shoot the TVs as well to make sure that if there was any cameras stuck on those, they were going to fall off? Smart plays like that. Just quick way to take out any kind of a secret black eyes.
This is pretty impressive, actually, seeing Vitality usually being team that stalls out for quite a bit.
So fast for them.
Now Vitality are trying to bait out here smokes, as of course Team Liquid with Sexy Cake has fallen back, so he's playing the gold vault, trying to bait out utility. C4 will be the first thing out, and it'll do some damage to Rafael. It's actually quite a bit of damage, but not really able to finish him off. The Mira window, though, will get taken down. I think that was the Mira herself that was setting up for that play. I am not too sure why. No, there's a Mira window in the back, I guess. As we did here, one Sexy Cake with the C4. Unfortunately, he has already come to the other side of the site. He's looking in for a potential peek from the red hallway as Bibu watching at the top of the hatch. Finally, they'll be able to drop, but Sexy Cake will go down to Bibu. Spark with one more as PSK turns it into a 4v2, but Bullets on the 4 is technically a 4v1. Vitality have a lot of manpower here to play against the smoke of Team Liquid, as Spark will get the finisher on Bullet. Shotgun in hand, Bibu gets the last one, and there we go. Vitality, they get game number 1 here in the victory in Group A.